Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TyrannosauRace channel. Typically, I would say hello and welcome to Horizon's Call, but not this week. This week, we've got a particular bit of chaos coming your way because Horizon's Call is taking a break, but for the entire month of May, we are raising money for St. Jude, so we didn't want to take a week off and waste those wonderful donations to a wonderful cause. So today, I'm joined by some new, amazing, lovely folk who I'm going to have introduce themselves, as well as the regular Eva. You've seen her plenty of times before. But we're going to do some dinosaur racing, set in the Forgotten Realms, Portney and Zaru, Chult, all that kind of stuff. We're going to get a little bit of lore here. But yeah, we're going to ride some dinos. We're going to fight some dinos. We're going to have a lot of fun. But like I said, for this month, we are raising money for St. Jude. We have already on this channel hit several of our milestones. So we have hit the $200 milestone for a Sunken RPG giveaway. We have hit the $350 milestone where Eva will do a Lady Dimitrescu from the newest Resident Evil game, the big titty vampire mummy milker thing. She'll do a cosplay stream of that. So good job. If we do hit $500 by the end of the month, there will be a Call of the Sea RPG giveaway as well. So that said, there are incentives along the way. If you donate $5, you get your name on the thank you wall behind the very lovely Eva. For $15, you get a thank you postcard mailed to you. $50, you could contribute an NPC or magic item to an upcoming D&D game, including Horizon's Call or any of the chaotic one-shots that I run on here, or Eva runs on here. For $100, you get a terrible animal drawing, which actually isn't that terrible. It's a bit of a misnomer, but it's fine. And for $500, the incredible Eva will DM a TTRPG one-shot just for you. She's incredibly talented. She's as amazing a DM as she is a player, so that is an excellent incentive to have. All that said, there are also incentives just throughout this game for subscriptions and gift subscriptions and all sorts of things like that. You can give crits and advantages to these players. The crits and advantages on Horizon's Call are going to stay where they are. So we're starting with a fresh, clean slate. If you want to give crits and advantages to these incredible people, please do so. And Toby the Botter will tell you all about that. We are still doing complications. So for $30, you can introduce a complication to an already complicated dinosaur race. And let's say for a $10 donation, direct $10 donation to the channel, you can introduce a boon, because every team has a support that can introduce helpful things to the race as well. So $30 to make it harder, $10 to make it a little bit easier. Let's see how cruel you all are feeling today. So all that said, I'm going to let these incredible people introduce themselves. So let's go kind of clockwise in that case. So Alex, if you wouldn't mind starting off and tell us about your lovely self.
Hello, I'm unmuted now. Hi, my name is Alex. I use they them pronouns, and tonight I will be playing Andrew Danner, the self-taught halfling conjuration wizard. And I'm really excited to A, be on this channel, and B, be on this channel doing a dinosaur race.
Very excited to have you. You were one of the first people I thought of when I thought of this game, so I'm very glad that you could join us. Next up, Elisa.
Hello, I am Elisa. I will be playing a lizard folk druid named Graglar, who is joining this race because they are so excited to be reunited with their step-sibling dinosaur. Don't worry too much about the family tree. It definitely tracks. And I'm super excited to be on Eva's channel for the first time. Eva's channel, sorry. And let's race with some dinosaurs!
Let's do that, yes. Graglar's concerns for their heritage concerns me, but that's fine. That's not how things work. But Graglar doesn't need to know that. Last but not least, of course, without the person without whom we would not be here, Eva, tell us about your lovely self and your new character.
Dr. Moira Blackwood might also have a few questions for Graglar, maybe. We'll see. As a doctor of anthropology, there's just a few missing links, we'll say. But she is a half-orc ranger who has brought her little friend to the dinosaur races and is so eager to participate in such a storied event such as this. It's truly an honor.
Do you want to describe your little friend? You give their name or do you...
He's a little velociraptor named Teddy, and he has a little backpack, like the little Koopas, like a little turtle shell backpack we keep his snacks in.
Mm-hmm. It's little velociraptor snacks.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you to these incredible people. Thank you to everyone here joining us today for this absolute chaos. Why do I do this to myself? I don't know. I try to ask myself that, and then just the fugue state takes over, and I start writing about dinosaurs. So to begin this story, we begin in Port Nyanzaru. It is a place in the Forgotten Realms on the island of Chilt. It's a major hub and in port city where the jungle kind of meets the city walls and meshes nearly into one. It is a place of ancient cultures and foreign peoples and, yeah, dinosaurs. The jungles of Chilt are thoroughly populated with these megafauna that are otherwise extinct throughout the rest of the Forgotten Realms. And because of that, the people of Chilt, the people of Port Nyanzaru, have incorporated dinosaurs into their daily life. They have become pack animals. They have become friends, companions, pets. And in a way to entice and encourage and bring hope and passion to the people of Port Nyanzaru, the dinosaur races began. So the dinosaur races of Port Nyanzaru are renowned far and wide for their danger and pageantry. The harbor town of Port Nyanzaru, one of the largest cities on the island of Chilt, is unique from any other because of the saurian fauna. Like I said, they've aided in commerce, their defense of animals, but the weekly races featured these dinosaurs in brightly painted colors and feathers, and the racers who pilot them, who drive them, who ride with them, careen through the streets of the harbor, all to earn the glory and monetary prize that awaits them at the finish line. For the populace of the port, the races have taken a place of pride, an event that sets their home apart from any other. Many spectators can even make a lucky bit of coin in the betting pools organized by the city. The games represent danger and excitement as well, with many fan clubs established throughout the city for any of the various teams. Still, for most who watch, the games are relatively safe. There are magical and physical barriers set up throughout the city to protect people and businesses from dinosaurs that get a little bit off track. Safety, however, cannot be guaranteed for the racers or their mounts. Weekly games alternate between bipedal dino races and quadrupedal dino races. The races involve all different types of dinosaurs who are found in the wilds, most of whom are muzzled with their horns, claws, teeth, whatever else, either blunted or kept in a safe manner. There is one exception, of course, the Unchained race. Typically, there are Unchained races every week, but once a month, the really intense Unchained races happen, where not only the dinosaurs are unmuzzled, but the riders as well can engage in combat. And it is this kind of race that is approaching in less than a week. The Unchained race represents the highest risk, highest reward event for dinosaur racing teams. Only select teams are even chosen to race because there's no guarantee that either they or their dinosaurs will be left alive at the finish line. The only rules are no direct attacks against civilians, no intentional damage to structures, and a rider must be riding a dinosaur when they cross the finish line in order to win. A semi-rule is try not to kill other people, but people have turned their backs on that more often than once. Beyond all that, it's a free-for-all of fang and fury. So, less than a week out before the Unchained race begins, each of you have found yourselves approaching the stables of the Blue Banners, one of the more popular teams. Whether by a need for coin, maybe you lost some money in the betting pools, or a need for adventure, or an interest in dinosaurs, whatever, you picked up a posting that said that the Blue Banners, for some reason, were looking for riders. This seemed a bit off. You know the Blue Banners have fallen in the rankings somewhat lately, but to be hurting so much to ask for help from the general public kind of seemed weird. Regardless, each of you have answered the call and you find yourselves heading out of the city, out of the Tikri gate towards the south. And you find yourselves outside of the city walls now, where the dinosaur pens are actually held, going up to one of the older structures, which is marked very clearly with the blue banners. Blue banners. It is a symbol of a golden dinosaur foot on a solid blue banner. There's actually two different types of blue on it, one in the trim, one towards the center. And you were told to meet here. So who would be the first one to arrive? Dr. Moira. Okay. So, Dr. Moira Blackwood, as you approach the stables, the pens, like I said, there is a structure that has the blue banners around it. The pens themselves are very much like almost like a horse pen, the bit higher to keep the dinosaurs out, a bit sturdier, with much of the bars being made of iron, because there are some rough and tumble dinos from time to time. You see that there are a couple of young fasciates, which are herbivorous bipedal dinosaurs, which are kind of just moseying around, chomping at the little bits of grass which are left in the area. You don't really see anybody else. Until, who would be the next person to arrive?
Me.
Graglar. So, Graglar, you come padding up, and as you do, Dr. Moira, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself?
Sure. Dr. Moira is Dr. Blackwood? Maybe that's why that's been sounding funny to me. Doesn't matter. She is a tall half-orc who has very kind of a light leather pack with her. And I say light, what I mean is small, but like packed. So bulging with all sorts of random assortment of goods and whatnot. She's got used but like well kept scale mail on. She probably got it secondhand. It does not look like she's done perhaps a lot of fighting. But other than that, she's got her black hair just tied up. She does have a large swirling silver tattoo on her right bicep. And her little friend Teddy, as previously mentioned, is just sort of resting on top of the pack that she's got slung over her shoulder. Why should he walk? He's so cute. He doesn't need, he can just be carried. He's a pocket dog. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, you turned your Velociraptor into a little, like, purse dog.
Purse dog. I love him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So, Graglar, that is what you see. What would Dr. Blackwood see as you approach?
And like those little like round specks.
Like pinchness?
Yes, thank you.
Dr. Blackwood would see a 7-foot tall lizard person wearing a cape with a hood. It's brown, it's dirty, twigs all over, stuck in every crevice. It's clear that he came from the forest and hasn't spent much time in civilization, and Graglar doesn't really spare a glance at Dr. Blackwood. He just kind of walks straight to the stables towards Sweet Tooth.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess bringing up the rear, Andrew Danner, you would see the 7-foot tall lizard folk, a half orc in some worn scale mail with glasses and a purse velociraptor. You see Graglar kind of going straight for the stables. Andrew, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself?
I had to scroll up to the character sheet to find out what my height was, because I forgot. But if I am visible in this crowd, you would see me as being like 3 feet tall, max. Wearing a very pristine white shirt blue skirt, and it does not at all match the like big, thick hiking boots that I'm also wearing. If you watch me for like probably more than 30 seconds at a time, you will see I'm constantly prestidigitizing myself to clean off. And fun fact, because I can plug a Discord too. If you go into Eva's Discord and go into the general chat, you can see the wonderful reference image that I have for this character. And I have on a pack that's almost as big as I am, and I have like an enormous like fucking 10-foot pole, which looks even weirder when it's on the back of like a pack for a 3-foot halfling. Oh, and I'm also being followed by like a little cat, like yay big. This pure white fluff ball.
Are you prestidigitating the cat too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's like alternating. Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say there is a lot of dirt around here because there's a lot of animal movement. So not a lot of grass actually goes through. This isn't paved in any way outside the city. So it did rain recently. There is a decent amount of mud, some puddles to kind of worry about. So yeah, despite all of that, the two of you would see a halfling, surprisingly clean, maintaining that cleanliness, and a surprisingly white cat trotting along, which would definitely stand out against the muddy potholes of this area. Okay, well, Greglar, since you are heading straight into the stables, not waiting another second, I do appreciate that. Yeah, you would go right in the stables. You would see that there are a number of stalls, most of which are actually empty. You can kind of see a lot of them actually did have the names of different kinds of dinosaurs, or you at least assume that they were the racing names of the dinosaurs, which don't seem to be there anymore. You would pass by a rather large pen and see an ankylosaurus inside. It's a huge-sized dinosaur. It's quadrupedal on 4 legs, almost turtle-like, with a shelled back, spikes coming off of the side, and it would just give a soft little kind of groan as you passed by, just idly watching you. Just like that. And you would pass by a couple of other stalls where you would see a couple of fastiates, which seem to just be grazing in the trough. Pass by, right next to them is not even a stall door where you can see through. It's completely solid. And as you pass by it, you hear a loud bang from the other side, and this crashing noise continuously hitting, and you can actually see that there's dents coming from the other side of this gate. And you would see that the name for whatever is in this pen is Maya. And as you would go further down, looking directly for Sweet Tooth, you would actually know Sweet Tooth. Like I said, the Blue Banners are a well-known team. Sweet Tooth is one of their newest acquisitions. And in a taller pen towards the back, as this building angles up, you get to the carnivore area. They are separated from the herbivores for obvious reasons. And as you look up, and you see this horned dinosaur, this horned carnivore. It has almost like these 2 little, almost devil horns coming out from its crest. And it just kind of looks down at you and gives this just idle growl towards you. So are you just meeting with Sweet Tooth? Are you a big fan of Sweet Tooth?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Graglar walks up, looks Sweet Tooth directly in the eyes. My sweet baby brother. You go and get yourself caught while I'm out abroad. Here I am to pick you up.
Greglar, you hear it? Excuse me. What are you doing back here? Who are you?
I am family.
Whose family?
I turn back at Sweet Tooth. Do you not see the resemblance in our eyes?
Greglar, as you turn to look at this individual, it is an emerald green tiefling. They have horns which almost go like straight up and back with this really dark black hair and these golden eyes. They have an arm that's in a sling, and as they walk up to you, they go, I'm sorry, you can't be back here, especially not with the ones that well, eat things like you. I guess you both have scales? Can I help you?
Yes. I would like to take Sweet Hoot home with me.
No.
Then I join Sweet Tooth.
All right. I think it's time we called the, I don't know, anyone? Listen, I'm sorry, maybe we should start with this. My name is Warren. You see him pronouns. You are?
Graglar, he, him.
Graglar. You are very tall and intimidating, and you have sharp teeth, and not typically around things like that, and yet even now, this is unsettling. What brings you to the Blue Banner stables, besides your apparent familial relation with a large carnivorous dinosaur?
I suppose then the race. It was a way in, and so I shall participate.
You're one of the applicants. You're one of the... Okay, wonderful. Well, I am assuming that there's just a line of people out the front door. So if you wouldn't mind coming with me, and we'll go ahead and we'll get you all signed up and squared away, and we'll get your auditions all put through.
Understood.
And he's gonna go ahead and lead you back through the patio, essentially, to the front door. And you see that there's almost like this hope in his eyes as he steps out in the sunlight with this. All right, everyone, line up into a single. There's 3 of you. All right. Okay, everyone. I guess. Yeah. Yes.
5 actually. This is my cat, Marshmallow, and I think that's a velociraptor in a purse.
It is. It's more of a rucksack situation, but yeah, it's a velociraptor. Are you
So,
Wonderful.
5.
5. Yes. All right, everyone, I guess just get into a horizontal line then. Boy, this is depressing. Hello, everyone. My name is Warren Silverpike. I use he, him pronouns. I am was the premier racer of the Blue Banners. We put out an application recently for anyone to potentially join our team. I am glad you're all here. So does anyone here have racing experience before? Has anyone ridden a dinosaur?
No, I've done a foot race once. I'm aware with the general racing.
Oh,
rules.
you've raced on a Fastia, the clawfoot Hadrosaurus.
No, no, just.
Oh, you mean on your own?
Yeah.
You've raced on your own feet.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. Graglar, have you raced before?
Yes, Sweet Tooth and I have played games in the forest together.
Noted. And I'm sorry, Miss
Andrew.
Andrew. Yes. Andrew, have you ever raced dinosaurs before?
Nope.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Miss with the Velociraptor. Your name was
Blackwood, Dr. Blackwood.
Dr. Blackwood. A doctorate in
Anthropology.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I saw the call for applicants, how could I resist participating in such an incredible cultural milestone?
All right. Welcome to the Blue Banners. No paperwork needed. Your pets will not be allowed to ride dinosaurs for very obvious reasons, but they are allowed to accompany you. Perhaps you'd like to use them as bait. Yes, question. Teddy's getting angry.
I'm sorry. What are the obvious reason. I mean, Teddy can sit on another dinosaur. Like, Teddy's smaller than I am, I would think.
Teddy cannot steer another dinosaur, I'm assuming.
Oh, you mean, okay. I thought you meant. Okay, so he can come with me. He gets very anxious if I leave.
Are you all aware for what you signed up for? We made it very clear that there's a monetary prize to this should we win, but that the risks are very. We're going to do the monthly Unchained race. Are you all aware of that?
Yeah, that's what the form said.
I'm seeing nods. All right, wonderful. All right, everyone, just come on in. Okay, Tamora, help me. All right. As I said, my name is Warren. I am all that is currently here for the Blue Banners. A few of our other team members had to set sail recently for personal issues, and our owner, Denier Silverpike, my adopted father, did pass away last month, leaving all of this to me, and we have not had the most luck recently, and this Yep, thank you to both. So, we have not, like I said, had the best luck in the bipedal or quadrupedal races, and when I broke my arm 3 weeks ago, we are in debt. We need to win a race. We need to win a big race, or we are going to lose our everything. We are going to lose our stables. We are going to lose our dinosaurs. So, I am relying on each and every one of you to win this race. We have a week. I have a week to teach you how to ride dinosaurs. It's fine. It only took me 12 years. All right. To essentially give you the basics, we'll get you out into the... Yes, another question, Doctor.
Is that typical? 12 years of training? Is that an outlier on either side, would you say? Were you a fast learner, slow learner?
I started when I was a child, and I suppose that I was one of the best at my age. I will only get better, I suppose. But learning as adults, they learn better, I suppose, faster. You'll pick it up. It's fine. Are you all decent at fighting at all?
I mean, define fighting.
Surviving a fight.
I'm good at doing that.
All right, then. That's honestly half of it. So, yes, the Unchained race, most races have dinosaurs with muzzles and blunted horns and everything else, but the Unchained race is no muzzles, teeth, and claws, and this particular Unchained race also means the riders can fight as well. There are some pretty nasty teams. We'll spend a week training. I highly suggest that you also perhaps learn a bit about your competitors as well. And then, Godspeed. Any questions before I suppose we just jump into the deep end on this one?
Who are our competitors?
Excellent question. There are several teams, 7, I believe, in total. Double check that one too. 7, including us. If I remember the roster correctly, there are the Stormcallers. They ride on a rather large Brontosaurus. The Golden Skulls, who have a young Tyrannosaurus Rex. Their premier rider, Alistair Noah, is very well known, very competent racer, very dangerous racer. There's Fang and Fortune, who have a young Spinosaurus, which is being ridden by a former gladiator, Goliath Valeth Ironbrand. You might have heard of him as well. I'm sorry, heard of her. I apologize, Valeth. There's also the Crown Breakers. They have a Triceratops and an Allosaurus. That is the Pirate King Brocken Naar. It's a Dragonborn you might have has some level of infamy. Tamora's Blessing, who honestly they can just go fuck themselves. They're completely up their ass. It's Tyrick. He's the son of one of the merchant princes, and he's got more money than all the gods combined and thinks he's all hot shit, but he rides a Hadrosaurus and he's going to eat shit, so that's fine. I have opinions. And then there's us, Blue Banners. Yes, another question, Doctor. You don't have to raise your hand, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Okay. I was just wondering, and this is not for me, this is just for my understanding of the race and how this all works. Would you say there is perhaps incentive on your end for us to maybe specifically beat this? Not now, Teddy. Not now. She's just gonna pet him where he's like nudging her shoulder for a treat, and to make sure that this Tyrick doesn't win.
I would suggest you make sure none of them win.
Sure.
I would, if I'm being honest, I would be mostly concerned about Fang and Fortune and the Golden Skulls. Tyrick is riding a Hadrosaurus. He's used to riding in the quadrupedal or bipedal races where everything is just safe and happy. He has money, but not a lot of smarts. His mother got most of that. So I would be more worried about the things that can bite than the Hadrosauruses, which will be bitten. But I'd be worried about all of them, to be fair. Honestly, just survive until the end. If you can break past everyone else and race to the front, that's ideal. We do have barding and some armor for the dinosaurs as well, so they will be somewhat better armored than they traditionally are. Just defend them, keep yourselves safe, make it to the end. It's more about survival than it is anything else.
Survival and winning.
Survival is winning.
Surviving, but also being the first across the finish line, right?
Highly suggested, yes.
Okay.
I
just want to be sure.
The prize is 30,000 gold. We would be able to pay off all of our debts, save the stables, and also pay you pretty handsomely, and perhaps even give you permanent positions with the Blue Banners if that's something you had interest in.
Moira's going to side-eye Graglar. That may be good for some of us. Others, maybe not so much.
Graglar, I know you wanted to take Sweet Tooth home. If we Sweet Tooth is newer to the stables. If we won, I could see it how we could perhaps release Sweet Tooth to your custody in exchange for your monetary winnings.
I see.
You're
Yes,
really hard to read.
I am not a book.
Noted. Yes. All right. I'm worried. All right. Okay. So, who then would like to be the first to ride a dinosaur? First time. It's fun. All right, Dr. Moira. Wonderful. If you wouldn't mind following me. And he's going to go further into the stables, and he's going to go up to one of the stalls on the right in the herbivorous section. And there's a slightly taller stall where you see a very ornate like crest coming from behind it. It's all these different vibrant colors and this larger singular horn kind of that you can see between the slats. And a nameplate on it says Horatio. And he opens the stall, and inside you see a beautifully colored but older Styracosaurus. Styracosaurus were a type of like relative to the Triceratops. So instead of having three horns, they had just one, but a very like ornate kind of head crest to the back. This is Horatio. He is since retired, but is wonderful for first timers, as it was. So he's going to kind of put a bridle on Horatio, who's very forgiving about the entire process of it. Seems like he's done it a billion times, and guides Horatio, a very huge-sized creature, just ambles its way through the very wide halls of the stables, gets out to the paddy, and all right, Dr. Moira, hop on. So we're going to have you all ride Horatio if you want to make your first rolls. This is an animal handling check, and we'll actually kind of use this as a basis for the actual races.
All right. I feel good about this. 17.
17. Okay. You take off with Horatio at like just a slow little trot. Pick up a little bit of speed to where he's almost just charging around. I mean, it's a very large running area. The fastest that were out there kind of dodge out of the way as you barrel through them, but you come to a complete stop very successfully, and you handle Horatio very deftly. Congratulations. Very well done, Doctor. Actually, incredibly impressed. Horatio, of course, is one of our tamer, easier to handle dinosaurs, but that was very well done. Who's next? Andrew, yes.
Yeah. Do you have a small one?
Yes. He's gonna kind of indicate for one of the fastiates, which are they're medium sized. Yes. This is. Oh, I can never tell the difference between these two. They're twins, and they always try to trick me. Yes, I think this one is Sapphire. And he's gonna kind of like just check. They have like little tags around them. Damn it! No, this one's Opal. Opal, go get your sister. And it doesn't listen at all, but he just kind of clicks for the other one to come over. Yeah, the Sapphire's a bit friendlier. Opal likes to reach around and nip, and it's not nice. Do you need a step stool or help at all?
I think I can. Let me try it once on my own. Hey, actually, what's Sapphire's favorite food?
We give sugar cubes as positive reinforcement, but otherwise any type of greenery, any type of roughage.
Okay, so here's Alex's first bizarre bullshit question for the evening.
Yeah.
What would you say the difference is between inanimate and inorganic?
Well, those are two completely different words, Alex.
Well,
Inanimate,
yes.
Yeah.
Can I conjure sugar with minor conjuration?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
you can do that.
I would like to just hold my hands out and just have a very big sugar cube and just walk up and like have it as an offering to Sapphire.
Very, very happy with that. Just kind of like kneels down and is just like, if you've ever like given an apple to a horse, just like fully encompasses it with like, it's more beak than lips though. Yeah. But no, very, very happy. And actually, as you do that, the fastiath kind of kneels down and almost crouches to let you climb on.
Yeah, so I will get on and I will unbutton one of the buttons on my shirt and like stuff Marshmallow in, so it's just his little head poking out.
Oh yes, your I can't remember what that's called. What does Freddy wear in Scooby-Doo? What's that called? An ascot. It's like a cat ascot. A cascot.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll animal handling with advantage because you get a sugar cube.
Let's go. I have a +1 in animal handling, so. Oh, that's a 1. Oh, that's a 2.
That's it.
With advantage. Oh wait, no. So it's a 3 total.
It's a 3 total. Okay. Doesn't go well. You don't get the reins really quickly, and Sapphire with a full sugar high just goes running off. It takes a minute with the kind of clicking noise and kind of Warren digging for other sugar cubes to try to lure Sapphire back. Go ahead and roll for acrobatics or athletics to see if you stay on.
All right.
You've got a wild fast stiff.
Yeah. Oh, that's a hell of a lot better. That's 19 plus. I think my acrobatics is better. 19 plus 3, 22.
You are able to hold on the fastest the entire time, which is perhaps the most impressive part. Andre, that could be a lot worse. I'm actually incredibly proud of you for maintaining your grip throughout. Well done. Honestly, we'll work on it. We have a week. All right, Graglar. Do you mind riding Horatio?
Yes, but before that, I think Graglar will walk up to Andre. You are clean, and
Thank you.
you have potential. And I put a dirty, I'm so sorry, my dirty hand on you, and I cast guidance. Keep working hard to connect with the dinosaurs. So
I'll do my best, and I'm not sure whether or not I should be grateful and thankful for the spell, or appalled that I am now dirty.
And then
Was it on the face, like a funny mark of Sauron, just dinosaur dirt paw?
yeah, it was. Do good.
Do better, scrub.
Get good.
And then I'll walk up to Horatio.
Okay. Graglar, go ahead and roll for animal handling.
Animal handling. No. 14. That 7 looked like a 1.
Okay. Watching Dr. Blackwood succeed thoroughly, then watching Andre succeed in a different way, you kind of meet somewhere in the middle. You're used to running with dinosaurs, not riding on them. They deserve your respect. Horatio maybe gets the scent of carnivore, which throws him off a little bit. You handle it pretty well. It's not as smooth as Dr. Blackwood's, but still an overall successful ride. All in all, you stay on, you come to a full stop, but you can tell that Horatio's just a little irritated to have you on, and it kind of just shakes loose as you get off. Graglar, well done. Maybe don't have bits of dinosaur in your teeth when you ride other dinosaurs. It unsettles them. They're made of meat. We all are. It's weird. It's fun. Okay, well, good first time, everyone. If you would like to keep practicing for the day, you are more than welcome. I am going to go get a drink, and I will be back. Please don't die. All right, wonderful. So we are essentially going to fast forward to the race at this point. If there is anything you would all like to do throughout the week, if there is any equipment you would like to acquire, anything you would like to do with the dinosaurs, recon, anything kind of like that, this is the time.
I have a question about the race rules.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to cross the finish line with a dinosaur.
On a dinosaur, yes.
Asked. And it doesn't have to be, does it have to be your dinosaur, or can it be any dinosaur?
That is an excellent question. It is judged by the racer, not the dinosaur.
Does the dinosaur have to be registered in the race?
Not necessarily.
Cool. Good information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's certainly druids and individuals who can summon dinosaurs, and I mean, honestly, if Andre balances on Teddy towards the end, I mean, that's... Also, fun fact, whenever I play with halflings, I always just like to remind people, halflings are smaller than gnomes. That doesn't seem right, does it? But it's true. Look it up. Yeah, average heights, yep. Gnomes are bigger.
During the week, one thing I would like to do is, if I am going to be racing Sapphire, one thing I would like to try to get her accustomed to is being under the effects of spells. So I would one day work with her entirely after having cast long strider. I would give her a couple of times where I cast haste and just try to get her used to, being under the effects of spells.
If you would have mentioned that to Warren at any point, if he would have seen you working with Sapphire, I'm sorry, Andrew. Sapphire is not riding in the Unchained race. She is far too fragile for that and far too young. No, if you're going to be riding a dinosaur, I thought Maya might be a good one for you.
Ooh, okay.
And with that, he is going to take you to the door that Graglar would have seen with all the dents in it. And he'll pull back the solid metal door. And inside, you would see a Pachycephalosaurus. Pachycephalosauruses, Sori, they're also called bone-headed dinosaurs. They are medium-sized, bipedal, and they have these almost like skull crowns, these hard heads, almost like rams, almost this dome on the top of their head with spikes coming around the sides. They're really fucking metal looking. And it has a beak, and it lets out this, kind of herbivorous dinosaur just groan. And he pulls Maya out and says, Maya is actually one of the most reliable. I think she might be your best bet. And she's very swift. She's very strong. She has an excellent charge. She is much more durable for the Unchained race than anything else. So if you're looking to work with her,
Ooh, okay, thank
certainly.
you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I would work with Maya then. Also, we got an uncommon magic item, right?
You did?
Yes, I picked a Pearl of Power. At some point of the week, I'd like to store a 3rd level spell slot.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Wharton would come to Graglar at some point. Graglar, I'm assuming you wanted to ride Sweet Teeth since you have Bond.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Get acquainted. Take Sweet Tooth out when there's other dinosaurs in the yard. He has a tendency to, well, you know, you know him better. He's doesn't have the best self-control, which actually might be helpful in the Unchained race.
We rough house.
Yes. Okay. I get more scared. It's fine. Dr. Moira, was there a particular dinosaur that you had your eye on? Did you want to accompany Graglar and Sweet Tooth?
They seem to sort of have their own...
Yes, yeah.
Going on.
I agreed.
Yeah. Who else you got? I think you have one of them big ones, right?
We do.
Like
There's
wide.
Belle, the Ankylosaurus. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She is also very reliable, very sturdy. Very good for surviving the race is why we've selected her more than anything else.
Yeah, you said that was key, surviving.
It
so
is
I think
key.
that's probably...
Yes.
Belle and I will get on great.
Okay, all right then. And he will pull out the shelled dinosaur. You would see that she has a tail which has spikes kind of running down the sides and ends in a large club at the end with spikes coming out of both sides there as well. Definitely a dinosaur built like a tank, very defensive dinosaur. So, all right, you've been paired up with a ramming Pachycephalosaurus named Maya, a large bipedal carnivore with devil horns named Sweet Tooth, and a tank dinosaur, tank turtle named Belle. All right. So, anything else you all want to do throughout the week? Okay.
I'm gonna read Sweet Tooth some bedtime stories and catch up and tell him stories from the time I was abroad. That's all.
I worry about the bedtime stories that come from a lizard folk to a dinosaur, but
It gets him real pumped up for the race.
yeah, we thought Grimm's fairy tales were bloody. Yeah.
Moira will try and she'll ask if she can like sit in on those sometimes, but also like knows that it's like in phases. She's not going to eavesdrop because that's rude, but like she would love to hear some of these stories.
We can have like a little bonfire and have a story time every night while we train. Training montage.
Now, does Graglar read these stories in Common or like in Draconic or even in Dinosaur?
Oh.
I was saying, would Dr. Moira be able to understand these?
She does speak Draconic, so
Okay, all right.
These are stories passed down, so he can translate them into common. But then there's some like sound effects that come out in dinosaur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Other than that, Moira's just gonna like sharpen her hand axes and prep her. Okay, like she's gonna make a show of like polishing the hand axes, but then she's gonna just spend a lot of time with like Teddy and like hanging out with Belle and like. Yeah, she's not really a fighter. She doesn't know like what she should be doing on that end, so she's just gonna like work on building a social bond with Belle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Noted. All right. So the week passes by. You build your bonds with your dinosaurs. You get them used to the spells you're going to cast. You get them to recognize you by sight, scent, and even sound. And by the end of the week, you've created a pretty solid bond with your particular mounts. Race day comes, and you all gather. If you will look at the map on point, it's the furthest west point of 5 on Port Nyanzaru, which is kind of shaped like a T-Rex head, which I kind of like that. It is the palace, the villa of the merchant prince. Let me pull my merchant princes. I say that. There we go. Akini Afa, who you would actually know as the mother of Tekir, the other racer. So she is the one that's going to be officiating this particular race. You do see that there are the other the other 6 merchant princes. So there is Akini Afa, Ifan Talroa, Jessamine, Jorbal Queothe, Wakanga Otamu, and Xanthi. They're the 7 merchant princes of Port Nyanzaru. Port Nyanzaru is kind of an oligarchy, so they are as much politicians as they are business people. But Akini Alpha is the one who is going to be officiating this race, and she kind of stands. There's an archway which leads into the villa. This villa is it has a circular kind of raceway or circular kind of staging area. And as you look around, you see the other dinosaurs that were mentioned to you. You see the Stormcallers, which is this large brontosaurus, and you can see that on top of this brontosaurus is almost like a small tower, sort of built onto its back, which has 4 elven archers who have kind of taken up defensive positions inside of it, almost like a moving fortress. You see the Heralds of Blood, or I'm sorry, I did rename them. They're the Heralds of Omu. They are from the wilds of Chilt. They are shaman and tribal warriors with like these almost like camouflage like paints on themselves and also their dinosaurs. They have a large Allosaurus and 2 clawfoots. The clawfoots being ridden by the tribal warriors, and the Allosaurus being ridden by the shaman. You would see the Golden Skulls, who have their young T-Rex, which is thoroughly scarred, and you would see that some of the teeth have kind of been replaced with golden ones. And you would know that this T-Rex has a level of infamy to him. His name is Bane. And they also have a Stegosaurus that you would know is named Helm. They are being ridden by the half-elf veteran Alistair Unoa, and also just another rider that seems to be one of the lower tier members of the Golden Skulls, who is riding the Stegosaurus. Fang and Fortune has the young Spinosaurus, a very large, huge bipedal predator, even larger than the T-Rex, with large spine going down its back and a very crocodilian, like elongated mouth. She is named Raven Queen. There are also 2 Deinonychus that are being ridden side by side, Risk and Reward. The Goliath Gladiator, Valeth Ironbrand, is riding the Spinosaurus, and there are 2 lizard folk who are going to be riding Risk and Reward. There's also the Crownbreakers, with their Triceratops Drunken King and their Allosaurus Hero Feast, being ridden by Broken Naar, and 2 Berserkers on the Allosaurus. And then finally is Tamura's Blessing, which has the Hadrosaurus Chilton Blessings 4, and 2 Fastians, Native Sun and Shining Victory. And that is Tyrek, who, like I said, is the son of Keeney Alpha, and 2 swashbucklers. Like I said, that was a lot. They're probably not all going to last that long in this race anyway. But just to give you guys an idea, this is going to be a packed race. There are a lot of individuals racing through here. So the way that we're going to work this is every team is going to have an initiative. On your initiative turn, you all can act in whatever order you choose. If you want to make it more orderly, we actually can have an initiative within yours. But every team more acts like on a single turn as you move through the raceway. The raceway will traverse all the way through Port Nyanzaro. It will travel through the northern quarter and then down through the southern quarter, all staying within the city's walls. You will begin at the Merchant Prince's Villa, and you will end at the Gladiator Arena. All right. Any questions before the race begins?
I have a couple of things I would like to do.
Absolutely.
I would like to take Marshmallow and go to a relatively quiet place in the area. And I would like to tell Marshmallow some old halfling stories about just random stuff like tricks and countrysides and, you know, halfling communities and stuff like that. And this is my ritual casting for Detect Magic. And I would like to check out all the other dinosaurs to see what's going on.
Okay. So you're specifically looking just like to see if there's any spells or anything that's cast on them?
Any spells if they're under any spell effects.
The most magical one is going to be coming from the Heralds of Omu, the Uthgard shaman. You kind of notice that most of the other racers aren't necessarily magical in nature. There's gladiators and swashbucklers and nobles. A few of them do have magical weapons, but the shaman definitely has... What has she particularly cast? She at least has the ability to cast Spirit Guardians and Prayer of Healing. Okay. And you can tell that she has kind of readied both of those. You can see the aura kind of emanating from her.
All right.
But yeah, the archers seem mundane. Their armor seems mundane. Tamora's Blessing, the human knight, Tyrek, his armor is magical. His weapons are magical. He himself is not. I don't think anybody else necessarily has anything too magical about them. There's not like I said, there's not a lot of magical spells being cast on the dinosaurs themselves. They're kind of, these are veterans in a lot of senses. So they're more relying on their physical brutality than anything else. You might see yourself as maybe one of the only, besides the shaman and Graglar, maybe the only other caster who's participating in this race.
In that case, I would like to try to get everybody and their dinosaurs together real fast.
Okay, you can absolutely do that.
All right, everybody. It's cheating time. Let's go. And I would like to put one hand on 2 of the dinosaurs and my foot on a third and cast the touch spell, Longstrider.
Okay. And Longstrider double speed?
Increases by 10 feet.
By 10 feet. Okay, yeah. Perfect. So with your dinosaur stats, just bear in mind that you have added an additional 10 feet to your movement. Good to know. All right. Perfect. So the last thing you would see as the race is kind of getting ready is a small figure begins walking up to you. They're actually walking next to Warren Silverpike, his arm still in a sling. He kind of just walked away for a little bit after he got the dinosaurs and you all just ready at the starting area. But he's walking up now with a kobold, and behind the kobold is kind of trotting a pterosaur, just like on its 2 feet and its little wings. And it's kind of being just like held by the reins. It says, "Everyone, this is Burp. Burp will actually be your support for the day. I'm not sure if I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier in the week. The Unchained races have support. If you need something, you can particularly call down Burp, who will be flying above. And Burp has done this before, yes? Yes, I have. Wonderful. So Burp will fly down. He has a number of health potions and, I don't know, weapons, perhaps. it's in dire straits that you would call down Burp. So you can just start waving your hand wildly, and Burp will do their best. So everyone, Burp is the $10 donation. So if you all would like to donate directly $10, you can summon Burp for support. Superb. And Burp will fly down. You actually do see, as you look around, that several of the other teams do have their support start walking in now too. You can see that Tamora's Blessing has a Batiri goblin, a tribal goblin, on a large Quetzalcoatlus. The Crown Breakers have a Batiri goblin on a pterosaur. You can kind of get the idea that Batiri goblins tend to hire themselves out as mercenaries in this area. Fang and Fortune has a vibrantly colored parrot Aarakocra. The Golden Skulls has a Terrafolk, which is like a pterosaur person. And the Stormcallers actually don't have any support that comes to them. The Heralds of Omu have a halfling on a pterosaur, which is also painted in the kind of camouflage colors. Like I say, as you look around, all of the dinosaurs have different kind of paints and feathers and adornments in addition to their armor. So the Ankylosaurus has armor, the Pachycephalosaurus has armor. Your AC increases by 2 for each of your respective dinosaurs. They have a mixture of like leather and iron, which has been incorporated into their bridling. And with that, anything else before the race starts? Okay. So the dinosaurs are lined up in this semicircular area, and as you all kind of are lined side by side, you can see on this archway is Akiniafu, and lined up with the other 6 merchant princes. And she yells down to all of you, "Welcome, each and every one of you. Welcome to the Unchained Race. This has been the pride of Port Nyanzaru for centuries, and you all are taking part in a point of pride of Port Nyanzaru. The blood that will be spilt today will encourage our citizens to strive harder, move forward, and endure the dangers that our city is constantly in threat of. But I believe in each and every one of you, and I know that one of you will succeed and find your way to the finish line. And if you do, there is a prize that will await you, of course. My son," and she kind of points down to Tyrek, "has even chosen to join your ranks today. How lucky each and every one of you are to be by his side. Godspeed, each of you races. Ride hard, ride fast, don't die." And with that, she's going to move to a gong that is right behind her. And that gong will sound. And with that, the race commences. So let's go ahead and roll for initiative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have each of you roll for initiative. I will average that. That will be your team's initiative. And then I'm going to do initiative for the other teams.
Can I use my advantage?
Sure.
Oh, that's a lot better.
All right. Eva, what did you roll?
12.
12. Elisa?
19.
19. And Alex?
21.
Nice. That is a 17 average. It's not bad. Okay, so Stormcallers, riding the Brontosaurus, rolled a 1. Let's see, that dice is so hard to read. Okay, the Heralds of Omu rolled a 5. If this is any indication of how my rolls are going to be today. Okay. The Golden Skulls rolled a 17 along with you. So who has the highest dexterity? I'm going to guess the Ranger. +3? Okay. All right, so you all will go before the Golden Skulls then. All right, and then Thing, Fortune, Crown Breakers, Tomorrow's Blessing. Okay. Fortune, Tomorrow's Blessing. All right. You all actually do get to go first. So the race begins. You all are the first ones out of the gate, essentially through the archway. You break forward. Each of your dinosaurs moving at its top speed. So it is your turn. This is all happening within, ideally the same moment of time. So should you wish, you can essentially target dinosaurs or riders behind you, or you can also use your turn to dash your dinosaur, which will involve an animal handling check.
And just for the record, I am fine playing each round by ear, like not rolling. I don't know if anyone else has like.
That sounds good.
Okay. So we'll go ahead. I can just go ahead and call out. Dr. Moira, you are riding Belle. She bursts out of the gate, moving at a speed of, what is Belle's speed?
60 feet.
60 feet. So she goes charging forwards. What would you like to do?
I think I'm going to nudge her on to dash forward.
Okay. So you're going to be moving at that, I guess it would be 90 speed then, because of the armor and everything else, it is not a full dash. It is more of like a partial dash. So, but you would move at an additional 40 feet then. So go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
21.
You successfully move 90 feet forward, bursting through the gate. So as you're charging forwards, you're going along, if you will look at the map, there is a pathway which kind of goes above the city itself and kind of crosses over almost like an overpass. So Belle is the first one through the archway, bursting forward, moving towards the path of the raceway. Graglar, what are you doing?
I suppose, I'm going to do the normal movement, I think.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'm gonna turn back and cast Fairy Fire on everyone else still behind us.
Okay. All right. What is the range for Fairy Fire?
60 feet, 20 feet. What is that?
So you can cast like a 20-foot wide.
Oh, range is 60 feet.
Okay. And then how wide is the Fairy Fire effect?
20 feet.
20 feet. Okay. With that, you would probably be able to get one team.
Okay. Oh, big dinosaurs, right.
Oh, big dinosaurs. So there's the Spinosaurus, the T-Rex, the Triceratops, the Hadrosaurus, the Brontosaurus. Anybody that you're targeting in particular?
Oh, who do we hate the most?
Yeah, that's up to you. I will say that right behind you are the Golden Skulls, that's going to be the T-Rex and the Stegosaurus. You could probably get both of them.
Oh, yeah, let me get both of them.
Okay. All right. You have cast Fairy Fire on the Stegosaurus and the young T-Rex, Bane and Helm. All right. And Andri.
All right, so Maya's movement says 40/60. What does that
mean? So that is 40, and then if you dash, well, I guess it would be, because you cast long stride, it would be 50 as a regular, and then if you dash, it would be 70.
Okay, then I would like to just use my regular movement, and then I would like to pull out from something that was hanging on my belt, a small vial about yay big, full of molasses. I would like to just shot it back and cast slow.
Okay.
Right. And this is a wisdom save on 6 creatures in a 40-foot cube.
40-foot cube. Okay.
40-foot cube.
Okay, so wisdom save. I'm assuming you're targeting the golden skulls as well, since they're right behind you.
How many can I get if I get the golden skulls? If it's 40.
The golden skulls, that would be, you get the T-Rex, the Stegosaurus, the veteran, and the thug.
All right.
And then I would say, who's right behind them? Right behind them is Fang and Fortune.
Could I get the merchant prince in there?
Sure, you can get the merchant prince in there.
Yeah. And I guess I'm like specifically, to be clear, targeting their dinosaurs, not them. I don't care about their speed.
Okay. Oh, so you're specifically targeting the dinosaurs. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So wisdom save from a, let's see, that's a T-Rex, a Stegosaurus, and a Hadrosaurus. Okay. All not incredibly wise creatures.
I was going to say, how philosophically adept are these dinosaurs?
That's a D12. That's not going to help me at all. Okay. DC.
Oh, geez. I think it's... Gosh, I should have prepared this. 15.
Okay. The T-Rex rolled a 19, so the T-Rex is not slowed. The Triceratops rolled a 14. The Triceratops is slowed. And then the Hadrosaurus rolled flat 11. You have slowed the Hadrosaurus and the Stegosaurus, not the T-Rex, which is still barreling towards you.
And the Hadrosaurus has the merchant prince on it, correct?
It does.
All right. I would like to attempt to make direct eye contact with the merchant prince and just yell, "Eat shit, guy!" and just go.
You see this ornately armored, like Chilton individual, just kind of, just like a feather headdress and everything. Just like, who even is that? Okay.
Eric, before we move on, for Fairy Fire, I think they get a chance to make a dex save.
Oh, okay. All right. They both failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I was gonna say that for I'm pretty sure the Stegosaurus has a -1, the Triceratops has a -1, the T-Rex has a +0. They rolled an 8 and a 4. Yeah.
Great.
Fuck them. Okay. So Alex, slow. Remind me what that does.
Does a bit. All right. So half move speed, -2 AC, -2 dex saves, no reaction, and only an action or a bonus action, but not both. And if it has multi-attack, it can only make one of the attacks.
And that lasts for, is that concentration?
Concentration up to 1 minute.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, with that, it is the Golden Skull's turn. The Stegosaurus, being at half speed, is only going to move 25 feet. The T-Rex, however, is going to barrel forwards, and seeing another carnivore, the T-Rex is going to make an attack towards Graglar and Sweet Tooth. So it is going to attack towards Sweet Tooth. So it is going to make, let's see, that is an 8 + 6, which is a, am I doing that math right?
14.
No, 14. 14, yeah. What is Sweet Tooth's AC?
So we got to add...
It's a 15.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you added 2 to your... Yeah. So the T-Rex takes a bite towards you and just completely misses. You're able to very deftly move Sweet Tooth out of the way. With that, let's see, who else is on there? The 2 lizard folk on... I'm sorry, there's a thug who really can't do much because his Stegosaurus is incredibly slowed. So that is really it for their turn. I don't think the veteran really has much they can do either. I don't think they necessarily have a ranged attack that I gave them because they were expecting to get up and close and nasty. I'm sorry, they do have a heavy crossbow. The veteran is going to take a shot towards Graglar. No, man, I'm going to roll like garbage today. Yeah, that was an 8.
Oh. Nobody touches the Rocket Boys. And we
The Rocket
speed
Boys?
forward.
The Rocket Boys. Noted.
I pat Sweet Tooth's head. We've been doing this since childhood.
You very clearly have. Okay. Next up is going to be the Fang and Fortune. Fang and Fortune are actually going to take their attacks towards the Stegosaurus, which is kind of slowed down, seeing it as kind of one of the weaker ones. So Fang and Fortune, the Spinosaurus is going to take a deep bite towards the Stegosaurus. That is going to hit, and the Stego is going to take 3d12 plus 6. Okay. So it's going to take 32 points of piercing damage, and the Deinonychuses are going to pounce as well. And this thing will take an extra 24. The Stegosaurus is looking incredibly rough at this point, as it has been, it is the weakest of the pack. All right, with that, it is, let's see, the Crownbreakers' turn. The Crownbreakers are going to charge forwards. They're going to be kind of bringing up on the heels of Bane, the T-Rex. And the Crownbreakers are going to take crossbow shots at 3 crossbow shots at each of your dinosaurs. So let's see what those look like. Let's see, one of those is going to hit towards Belle. So Belle is going to take 6 points of piercing damage as a crossbow bolt kind of lodges between 2 of her spines. And she gives out a little bit of a roar, but she's holding up okay. She's doing all right. All right, now it is... Tamora's Blessing is the Hadrosaurus's turn. The knight is very perturbed at his very slow dinosaur, so he's going to send his 2 Fastiaths forward. Actually, tell you what, because this is a much more douchey thing to do, he's going to kind of jump off of his Hadrosaurus, throw one of the swashbucklers from the Fastiath, and jump onto the Fastiath, which is also going to be slowed because this is a medium-sized creature carrying a medium-sized creature in heavy armor. But he's going to charge forward nonetheless with a ridiculously sized lance, very, very much trailing behind everyone else. And with that, the other Fastiath is going to move forward. The Hadrosaurus just kind of moseys its way back until it actually does run it. Hi, buddy. You're a very good dog. Hi, you're a very sweet boy. Daddy's trying to play make-believe. Yeah. Okay. The Heralds of Omu are going to charge forward, and actually they're going to attack the Hadrosaurus because they're assholes. And that Hadrosaurus is going to take a ridiculous amount of damage. What is that? Allosaurus is... All right, how much HP did I give the Hadrosaurus? Yeah, the Hadrosaurus is looking incredibly rough at this point. As the Allosaurus and the Clawfoots literally kind of tribally pounce onto this thing and start attacking this unmanned Hadrosaurus. You kind of get the idea that the Heralds of Omu are not here for the money. They're more out for blood than anything else. And last but not least, before we get back to your turn, is Stormcallers. So the Stormcallers, they're large brontosaurus, they're huge brontosaurus, barrels forwards, and they are each going to take arrow attacks. So there are 4 archers. 3 of them are going to target all of you, and then one of them is going to target the T-Rex. So... All right, so that is towards, and this is actually directly attacking all of you. So Dr. Moira, that is a 16 to hit. That is going to hit. Thank you for adding your AC to your. Yeah, you all did that. Wonderful. Andrew, that is going to hit. Ragnar, that is going to hit. Yeah, I rolled a 10, 16, 17, and 15. So all of these are going to hit. You all are going to take. Let's see, what is that? A D8. Moira, you are going to take 6 points of piercing damage. Ragnar, you are going to take 10. Andrew, you are going to take 11. And the Goliath is going to take 10 as well. So as arrows just fire from this mounted fortress, essentially, all for finding perches with these incredibly talented elven archers, and you kind of get the sense the Brontosaurus is not the thing to worry about with them. So kind of get the idea of like the Mumakil, the Oliphants from Return of the King. It's kind of set up like that, yeah. And with that, we're back to top of the order with the blue banners. What would you all like to do? Actually, real quick, because it is that time, before we get to your next turn, we have gotten through one round of combat. We have moved forward in the race. Let's go ahead and take our break real quick, and we will come back and finalize this race. So we'll be back in like 5-10 minutes, everybody. Stick around for more dinosaur racing. Thank you. Welcome back to Dinosaur Racing, TyrannosauRace. I totally didn't have just something I'm about to eat. Totally did. Thank you, everyone. We did hit the $500 milestone for this month for St. Jude right at the end. Really appreciate all of you donating, all the incredible donations you've made. It means so very much to us. Of course, the Eviscerates channel, being a member of Team SideQuest, it all goes into an even greater pool, which I believe we've hit incredible heights with that, and you all have contributed to that. So we very much appreciate you and your very giving nature. So with that said, hitting that milestone, in the chat, there will be a giveaway for Call of the Sea, PDF of that TTRPG. So you can enter, I believe the code is Dino, or if you're an Italian uncle from like the 1990s, Dino. So, yeah.
Key point is it's exclamation point Dino/Dino.
Exclamation point Dino.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So picking back up, we have gotten one leg of the race done. You have just crossed over this bridge. You are getting right up to, you're kind of going to go around a lot of the landmarks in Port Nyanzara. So you were approaching Golden Throne. It's this very large building where the merchants do a lot of their trade, and it is marked by this painted golden dome around it. And it's kind of shining in the midday sun. So it is your turn now. I'm going to go ahead and try to mark as accurately as possible your race path. But what would you all like to do for your next turn?
I would like to do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to kind of twist back and survey the field behind me. And then... Oh. No, that's fine. That's okay. That's fine. I would like to ask Teddy, hey Teddy, give me the good stuff. The thorny stuff, not the other stuff. And if he wouldn't mind digging in my pocket or my bag for some spell components, that would be super helpful.
Oh, they're not in his backpack? They're in your pockets? Okay. Then yeah.
Okay, he doesn't have fingers, and like he can't like cut him some slack.
I'm just asking where he's keeping them. I wasn't saying
explicitly his snacks are in his backpack.
You really do this in front of everybody? No. Okay. Teddy reaches into your pockets and pulls you out some of your spell components and just kind of plops them into your hand.
I would die for Teddy. And I'm gonna just chuck him back behind me, and I would like to, I don't know the name of this, where they fall. Apparently I can check pretty far. So back behind my compatriots, right in front of where the next group is going to enter, I would like, from where those thorns fall, spike growth to burst up out of the... Is it a dirt road or is it like pavement? Just so I know how bad to feel about this.
It's a mixture of both. So where you are right now actually is stone because you're on kind of like an overpass. So it is marble for the most part across this way. You're in the fancy merchant area.
Okay.
As you get further in the city, it will be dirt, but yeah, there's like vines and there's roughage kind of growing around, a lot of greenery growing around because it is a jungle city as well.
If I could flavor it so it doesn't like burst up out of the ground, but like maybe it pulls from like what's already there and just like...
Sure. That is absolutely doable. Okay.
And then it becomes a difficult terrain.
Okay. Now, are you trying to get in between Sweet Tooth and Bane, the T-Rex? Because Bane is basically right up on Sweet Tooth.
Yes. Well, how far between Bane and...
They're in melee range, so you might get Sweet Tooth in this.
No, I don't want to get Sweet Tooth.
Okay, then you will not get Bane either.
Okay, then I'll go for the next furthest back group.
Okay. And spike growth makes it, you said, difficult terrain?
Difficult terrain, and when a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels in the 20-foot radius. It is also camouflaged.
Why don't you go ahead and roll that damage because they're all going to have to go through that. So
it also
I
is
just want to know how much
to look natural.
Okay. Yes, this is a raceway. I want to know how much damage these poor helpless
a D4.
animals.
I was like, how did I get 6? I'm just so good at this. That's
It's got 6 on a 4-sided dice.
5 for every 5 feet it travels.
Okay, and they're traveling 20 feet?
Yep.
So they're getting, what, 5 times
That'd be
4?
20 points of damage.
20 points of 20 points of damage to everybody. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And it stays up for 10 minutes, which I assume means until everyone has passed through. Or I break concentration. Please and thank you.
Okay. Please and thank you. All right. I'm just marking down where everybody is in the race. Several have already been removed from the race. So that is great for them. All right. So with Bane still hot on your tail as things were, Graglar, what would you like to do?
I would like to cast blindness, deafness on Bane.
On the T-Rex, okay.
The T-Rex, yes. With Fairy Fire, does that advantage count for spells or just attack rolls?
I think it's for melee attacks.
Got it. Oh,
Yeah,
anyways, this is a save for you.
Mm-hmm.
Con save.
Con save for T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
T-Rex. Okay. That is a 17.
That works. Saves.
Okay. So Bane shakes off the spell and is, how does the T-Rex get more angry? You know, it's like, how can you get more wet? What's the level of wetness? All right, Andrew.
All right. So I have just discovered that the grease spell is not concentration. So.
It's not, surprisingly.
Right? Yeah. Would it be possible to put the grease directly under the T-Rex and not by Sweet Tooth?
What is the size of the grease?
Let's see. Grease. 10-foot square.
Yep.
It's 10-foot square, difficult terrain. So what I would do is to catch the T-Rex on the back corner of it. So it would have to move through the grease, even if it doesn't trip and fall.
Yeah, they are both large. They both take up 10-foot spaces. You would
okay,
absolutely
yeah.
be able to get to the T-Rex.
Yeah.
What is the save on that?
Deck save or fall prone.
Okay, on its next turn or right now?
Right when the grease appears, and then it also must make the deck save when it leaves the area.
Okay. So a 15.
That just beats my DC.
Okay. All right.
I
Bane
got
is
the
rolling
shots.
well.
T-Rex.
This T-Rex is right on y'all's tail.
And then I'll move my 50 feet up.
Okay. All right. Anything else for any of y'all's turns?
I shoot Andrea a thumbs up. We tried.
I'll pat Belle and tell her that she's doing very well.
Right. Belle reciprocates the affection very much. Okay. And everybody moved their regular movement through this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Although I'd rather not have Belle scritch me in the middle of a race if that's possible. I don't want to see my.
Yeah, she can't like move her spikes or anything. She's just like, she's very happy. Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the Golden Skulls. So, the veteran is going to take another shot. This time they're actually going to shoot towards Moira because they actually did see that you tossed this stuff right past them and created this spike growth. So they're going to take a heavy crossbow attack to you. And if I can find the veteran stats. There we go. That is going to be an 18. So Moira, you are going to take 5 points of piercing damage as a heavy crossbow bolt comes firing right at you. The T-Rex is going to take an attack towards Sweet Tooth again. So that is definitely going to hit because I know that's a 19 plus 6. That's a 25. And so Sweet Tooth is going to take. Let me grab dice here. I should have just simplified this and made them all like, similar dice, but what am I doing? Sweet Tooth is going to take, that's 15, 22 points of piercing damage as Bane goes like biting right back into its back haunch.
Can I use my reaction?
Yeah,
So,
melee, sure.
As a Circle of Spores druid, I have a reaction called Halo of Spores. That's just always on, and I can unleash necrotic spores to hurt that dinosaur who hurt my baby boy for 1d6.
Sure can.
So that's 3 damage. Little poke.
Okay. All right. Looking okay. Let's see. No, that's actually fine. That one's good. Okay. All right. Everyone else is going to have to essentially run through the spike growth. So over and over, you see these dinosaurs that are slowed down and also taking damage. The Fastiath that is being ridden by Tyrek, it's looking pretty rough. It made even rougher so by the fact that it has to take more time moving through the spike growth than the other ones do because it is weighed down. It is barely hanging on at this point. The Brontosaurus doesn't seem particularly intensely affected, but it definitely does take the damage. Not to say that it didn't, but it is a hefty individual. Let's see. Cartosaurus is fine. The Clawfoots are looking a little rough too, as they have finished their quick bite with the Hadrosaurs and are moving forward. But as they move through the spike growth, they're both looking decently rough. The Deinonychus are also looking decently rough as well. Spinosaurus is hanging on just fine, and that Spinosaurus is going to catch up at this point. And it actually has pretty decent movement. It is actually going to be able to catch up with Dr. Moira on Belle. and the Spinosaurus is going to take a chomp attack. Now, I will say that as it is doing this, it does have to move past Andri. Andri, if you would like, you can take an attack of opportunity, which Maya could also do as well. You can use the attack of opportunity for Maya's charge.
If it has to pass by me, does it have to pass through the grease?
It's a 10-foot space. I would say it would be able to move around the
sure.
grease.
Especially
seeing. Well, let me go ahead and I do have to roll for Bane's turn as well. So seeing Bane slip, Bane did roll a 19, but seeing Bane like trying to get purchased, the Spinosaurus would move around.
Yeah. Okay. And how many riders are in this dinosaur?
On the Spinosaurus, there's just one. The Spinosaurus is being ridden by the Goliath Gladiator.
All right, then, against all of my better judgment, what I would like to do is I would like to make an attack of opportunity, but make it a shove with my 10-foot pole to try and knock him off his dinosaur.
Knock Valeth Ironbrand off of her dinosaur.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Let's, God damn it. Let me get my gladiator stats.
The contested athletics
totally
check
normal
from
person?
a halfling wizard.
Yep. All right. That's fine. You know what? That's fine. Go ahead and roll a contested athletics check.
That's a 1. I'm going to use my halfling luck on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a 16 plus 1, 17 total.
Okay. So let's see. What do you got? Alex. All right. I rolled a 1, but they do get advantage. So I rolled a 5. They have a plus 10 to athletics. That is only a 15. Yeah, okay. Alex, you, with your 10-foot halfling pole, you shove a gladiator from their Spinosaurus. Sentences that no normal person would ever say. Yeah, they are knocked from their mount. I'm not going to say that they hit the dirt just yet. I am going to give them a dex saving throw on that, as I would with all of you, as they're going to try to cling for dear life. And all right, Valeth Ironbrand, without even realizing, going for the Spinosaurus to chomp at the Ankylosaurus, dead set. I mean, as any gladiator would be, they pick out the toughest, strongest individual at the lead, take them out first so you can take the lead yourself. They don't even notice the halfling on the Pachycephalosaurus. They don't notice the halfling on the Pachycephalosaurus reaching for a 10-foot pole. Why would they even have that? How are they even able to carry that? And as the 10-foot pole hits her right in the temple, all of her visions of victory and success just flee as she goes tumbling to the ground, and all you can see behind you is just a cloud of dust as you hope that the T-Rex didn't crush her. The Spinosaurus, now without a rider, has gone wild. And the Spinosaurus is still going to make an attack towards Belle, because now it is directionless. And it will attack whatever is nearest to it. Yes, Eva.
Real quick, I don't know why, like, now I'm just raising my hand all the time. It's fine. I'm an adult. We do not count as the same target, though, right?
You do not? No.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use my reaction to make a melee attack back. And just boop it on the snoot.
Your reaction, is that an ability you have?
It is Sentinel attack.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's right.
I read my character sheet.
Your character sheet for you.
Ah, joke's on you.
Yeah, joke's on me for making a decent character. All right, Spinosaurus. It is going to be a 19 to hit Belle.
Yeah, that hits Belle.
What is?
14.
Yeah, I was gonna say Belle's. It is 19. Yeah, it's right on the dot. Okay. So Spinosaurus is going to be 3d12 plus 6.
I can't read. Her AC is 17.
But it's plus 2 because of the armor. Yeah, so she has a 19 right now.
Good for her. What damage was that?
That's what is that? 12 plus 12, 24 plus. Where's Spinosaurus? 24 plus 6, so 30 points of piercing damage. And yes, you can take your reaction attack towards the Spinosaurus.
Okay, I'm gonna math that out in a minute. I'm gonna whack her with one of my hand axes, which is fine. 20? Dirty 20?
Yeah.
And 8.
All right, 8 points of damage towards the Spinosaurus. All right, so perfect. Okay, with that, the other one's going to have a tougher time catching up, but as the danger was kind of presented from before, the archers on the Brontosaurus are going to fire towards all of you. I am actually going to see whether they hit person or dinosaur on this one. They're going for your dinosaurs. So we're going to get 4 attacks. 2 are going towards Maya. And what is that for new bonuses? Too many dice. Archer Maya plus 6. I don't think that's going to hit. That's a 14 to hit Maya.
That will not. I believe my AC is 17 with the armor.
Yeah, so 14 and a 1. So no hits towards Maya. The other 2 will hit. So your respective dinosaurs are going to take 5 points of piercing damage as arrows are lobbed towards them. The Uthgard Shaman is also going to... Let's see, what are they going to cast? They are going to cast Bestow Curse. And make sure that I am correct on what that does. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a touch spell. Never mind. Let's call it arrows. All right. As you see, the Uthgard Shaman is riding along on their Allosaurus. You see she actually reaches down past her saddle and grabs into a quiver and places 4 arrows in a direct single file line kind of behind her as she casts Cordon of Arrows. So any of the dinosaurs riding behind her will actually take damage from those. With that, they mostly just do attacks against each other because you all have moved quite a decent bit forwards. Everybody's looking more or less rough thanks to that spike growth, and we come back to top of the order with all of you. What would you like to do? I will say, as you are moving through the city now, with the way the race has progressed, you have passed over another kind of overpass, and you are passing into the eastern side of the city. So you can actually see over the hill is the harbor ward below. And you are wrapping around now the Temple of Savras, which is the deity of wizards and fortune tellers. And you can see that this is the point where there are spectators kind of lining the sides of the streets. You can see that right around this area, there is a shimmer, almost a magical barrier between you and them. Otherwise, there is no physical barrier to protect. But you kind of get the idea that if you were to try to run up against it, you would hit something. Some type of abjuration magic. So, Dr. Moira, what would you like to do?
Does it look like we've deterred that, was it a Spinosaurus attacking us?
The Spinosaurus is now rampaging because it doesn't have a rider. The T-Rex is still hot on your heels. Everybody else is lagging somewhat behind.
How far away is the T-Rex from Belle and I?
From Belle and you have.
I guess me specifically.
Actually, that would be pretty close. Well, you dashed ahead a little bit more than Graglar and Sweet Tooth did, so that would maybe be 50 feet.
Oh, okay, that's very far.
I mean, in a dino race, that's a turn.
Well, yeah, but okay. So, how does Andrew and Greglar, Sweet Tooth, and Maya? Is anyone looking like bloody or like very terrible? We're doing okay. Okay. Then I would like to just kind of nudge Belle and ask her to dash again.
Okay, animal handling check.
I'm gonna use my advantage.
Are you?
Yep. Okay. That is a 17.
17. Yeah, Belle is able to charge forward even more. And yeah, Belle clearly has the lead in this race. All right. Graglar, you have a T-Rex which is still hot on your tail that has taken a chomp towards you. What would you like to do?
I think I will use the T-Rex to, not the T-Rex, my dino to bite the T-Rex. The Carnotaurus.
Carnotaurus. Yeah, a carnivorous bull.
I looked up a picture and it's got like really, really tiny arms.
Yeah,
I love it.
They're still good high fivers.
Alright.
Okay. So it's a +7 to hit.
Oops. And I get advantage with Fairy Fire, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Then that is a 22.
That'll hit.
22.
Yeah. So 2d10 + 4.
2d10. That would be 13 + 4. 17.
17. All right. Sweet Tooth whips around and returns the chomp towards Bane and takes a decent chunk out of Bane. Bane is bleeding thoroughly through a wound on their side right now.
Good boy.
Andrew, you have kind of been passed up by some of the larger carnivores, and you can see that there are some dinosaurs which are kind of coming up on you right now. You're a smaller target, typically not one that's attacked as regularly. You're kind of like the motorcycle of this demolition derby, but you can see that because of the spells you're casting, that you might be targeted soon. So what would you like to do?
How far would I be from, say, actually, no, I can't do that yet. Shit.
How is your cat Scott doing right now?
She's doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just along for the ride.
Marshmallow is doing just fine. Just bouncing along. Yeah. Okay, so what I would like to do is I'm actually going to drop concentration on slow and instead cast Expeditious Retreat. So I can take the dash action now and then as a bonus action for the duration of the spell, which lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you drop concentration on slow and you notice that a few of the dinosaurs, like almost this rewind sort of motion on them just instantly stops this blur around them, and instantly you can hear the thundering footsteps behind you. But as you do, you also kick your dinosaur into overdrive. Go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
All right, that is a 12 + 1, 13 total.
All right, and for Packy Seth, that was a 12 DC check. So you have successfully dashed forward, moving 70 feet.
80, because I have Long Strider.
Is it? It's 60 to start with, so it would be. Is it a +10 with?
Oh, you're right.
Retreat?
No, I thought. Yeah, you're right. It's 70.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. So you are now catching up with, you're passing up the Spinosaurus. It doesn't get an opportunity attack because it passed by you and is otherwise engaged, rampaging. You're kind of getting like almost neck and neck with the Spinosaurus at this point, and you are catching up, even with Bell at this point. You're getting pretty close to.
How close would Bell be?
Bell is still a decent bit away,
Yeah.
Because Bell's been dashing a decent bit.
Yeah.
You're getting closer to Sweet Tooth at this point.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Anything for any of your turns? Okay. Well, with slow released, the other dinosaurs are going to charge forward. Most of them are going to take their dash action. So I'm going to see how many successful dashes there are and see what other chaos can be brought behind you. Because if you're riding carnivore and you don't succeed, it's not good. Okay, so the Allosaurus is a success. The Brontosaurus is a success. The one of the clawfoots is not. One of the Deinonychuses is not. That's not great. Let's see. Hadrosaurus is dead. One of the Fastiots is barely holding on at this point, but the one with Tyrek does succeed and does move forward. Let's see. The Spinosaurus is still rampaging. The Stegosaurus succeeds. The T-Rex is not dashing because it is keeping pace with Sweet Tooth, and the Triceratops is successful. So, one Clawfoot and one Deinonychus actually kind of stop as they feel the heels dig into them. They come to a complete stop and they start reaching around to try to attack their rider. So you can see that one of the tribesmen, one of the Uthgard tribal warriors, is now fighting with his clawfoot to not eat him. And you can see that one of the Deinonychus, one of the lizard folk is fighting like crazy to try to keep the Deinonychus from chomping at it. It's starting to like chomp back at it and trying to like talk it down. It's not working well. All right, so with that, the Spinosaurus is going to charge forward again. It would invoke well, I guess you already used your reaction, so it would be an opportunity attack from Graglar, but Graglar already used his reaction. But the Spinosaurus is going to take a chomp at Bell, and the T-Rex is going to take a chomp at Sweet Tooth. So the attack towards Sweet Tooth, I don't think that's going to hit because that's only 11. Towards Bell, however, that is a 16 plus 7. So that's going to hit, and then it's going to be another 3d12 plus 6. Okay, 17, 23 points of piercing damage as the Spinosaurus has now targeted Bell as the prey to beat.
Can I use my react? I can't use my reaction again, can I?
Yeah, it's not been a second turn yet. But yeah, Dr. Moore, as you turn around and you see the Spinosaurus coming chomping down at you, much like where Bane had golden teeth, you can see that the Spinosaurus, Raven Queen, actually has adamantine replacements to several of her teeth. And there are a couple of different rows as this thing it's even bigger. The Spinosaurus is even bigger than T-Rex's as it comes kind of chomping down for the softer bits. Yeah, I am going to say, I think this is the first melee attack towards Bell. So if you would like, Bell is surrounded by spikes and a shell. If you would like to roll a d6, the Spinosaurus will take a d6 of damage from biting.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. All right. Not really deterred. Seems like a pretty hungry Spinosaurus. Probably not well cared for. Maybe it needs a new owner. Currently doesn't have one. With that, we're back to top of the order. Yes, Eva.
I forgot it was only a bonus action to have the dinosaur use its attack, so I would like Belle to use her tail attack.
Okay.
Which is...
It's a plus 7 to hit.
Yes. Making it a 18.
That will hit. So Bell then does 46 plus 4. 13. Okay. As the club tail with spikes comes smacking into the side of the Spinosaurus just as it's taking its chomp. Yeah, you do a decent chunk of damage to the Spinosaurus. It is looking rougher than when it started. Maybe about half as healthy as when it started.
Okay. And then I would. I'm just gonna pat her.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, no. I'm gonna encourage her to dash, try and like open up some sort of gap between us.
Okay, you will get a
oh shoot! Yeah.
like a attack of opportunity.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't want that. In which case,
Okay.
I'm going to just pat her, and cast Cure Wounds at the same time.
Okay.
Which should be 6.
Okay, so Bell takes 6 points of healing then. Okay. So we're going to fast forward a bit of this race here. So you move around the Temple of Gond. You're able to traverse through the narrow city streets. Again, spectators on all sides cheering you onwards. You do see flags on all sides, many waving the banners of the individual teams. So you do see that there's the golden skulls with the black banner with a golden dinosaur skull on it, golden carnivorous dinosaur skull. You even see a few blue banners. You don't see anything for like the Heralds of Omu. You kind of get that they don't have a huge fan base, that they're probably not city dwellers too much. The Crown Breakers, you can see they have orange banners with these black crowns that are broken in half. The Storm Heralds, it is a green horn on a white background, like a horn that you would play on like a calling horn. Fang and Fortune, it's an F, ampersand F. It's that is silver and white. Actually, you wouldn't be able to see that at all. Silver and black. Let's go with that. And then Tamora's Blessing. You can see a lot of the fans for Tamora's Blessing look pretty depressed at this point, considering they're like Tarek, who normally wins races, but this was his first Unchained race, is doing incredibly poorly. Is sitting at the bottom of that poll. All right, so we're moving around the city now. You go around like I said, the Temple of Gond. You wrap down past the Harbor Ward and come back up through the city. You are getting to the point where you're almost to where you started, and you kind of know that the race wraps out of the city for a period of time to the Executioner's Pits. So you are just getting through the city gates now. You need to wrap around the Executioner's Pits and circle back through the city, back through the southern half to get to the Gladiator Arena. The Executioner's Pits, as you're wrapping through these, it is a 200-foot long, 15-foot deep pit. Just like a, how do I want to describe this? Like a rectangular hole dug in the ground. It is used for prisoners who are sentenced to death. They have the option to go to the Executioner's Pits, which are typically filled with predatory cats, predatory dinosaurs, sometimes an Allosaurus just for fun. Sometimes there's gladiators, sometimes there's like spikes and pits and everything else. And they have to run from one end to the other where they can climb up a rope. And if they survive, they get to go free. So as you are passing around, you realize that your dinosaurs are getting dangerously close to the sides of this pit, and you have to form into a single file line at this point. So Belle, you are in the lead. You are being followed up by Andri at this point on Maya, and Graglar on Sweet Tooth. You're trailing behind. You have the Spinosaur between Andri and Dr. Moira. And then the T-Rex is still right behind Sweet Tooth. And many of the other dinosaurs have caught up at this point. But as you are kind of rounding this bend, we're going to come to another turn here. And I will note that you have lost, if you were to look, you will have lost a Clawfoot, a Fastieth, The Deinonychus. Yeah, definitely the Hadrosaurus. The Triceratops is looking pretty rough. It's been taking a lot of volleys from the Brontosaurus. The Brontosaurus is still hanging in there just fine. The Allosaurus is there. Let's see. And the Stegosaurus is still there. So besides you, there is still, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 other dinosaurs, 6 more riders. But you all have the very clear lead. So as you're rounding the pits, what would you all like to do? Dr. Moira.
I was gonna say I feel bad going first every time.
It's our unofficial
initiative.
initiative.
If that Spinosaurus is still on us, I would like to encourage Belle to use her tail attack again.
Okay. Now, are you trying to knock the Spinosaurus into the pit?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Would it? Okay, here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be fatal?
No.
Okay.
No, Spinosaurus is much bigger than 15 feet, and it's still pretty healthy.
Okay.
You're mostly just like getting it off of you at this point.
Then yes, that would be the goal.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, the pit is not filled at this point, I should note. There are no executions on race
Good.
day.
Yeah. Great.
So, yeah, there's no like leopards in the pit just like you're gonna crush with a Spinosaurus.
24.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I don't care about damage if you don't care about damage. As long as it's in the pit.
No, go ahead and do I want to know damage because then we're gonna do a strength check.
Oh, okay. So that's 9.
Because you're essentially shoving, but you're shoving with an attack.
18.
Okay. 18 points of damage, and then go ahead and roll a. This is an athletics, so it's +4 to whatever you roll.
23.
Rolled an 11. 11 total. So the Spinosaurus gets smacked with this tail attack and goes tumbling just 1 foot right over the other into the pit with a solid thud. You can see it is already getting back up and trying to claw its way out by the time that you are able to turn around and look at it. But this Spinosaurus has definitely lost a decent bit of movement in the race. It's lost its entire turn of movement. Graglar, you have the T-Rex behind you still. What would you like to do?
I would like to dash.
Okay. So you will get an opportunity attack.
Okay.
All right?
I'll
Okay.
take it.
All right. T-Rex rolled a nat 20, so that is going to be 2d12 plus 7, and then we will double that. So that is...
Oh no.
Let's see. 34 points of damage.
Ouch. Okay. 34? 37.
34. 34.
Ooh. Okay. Wow.
Actually, I'm sorry. It's I apologize. 48. I apologize. I forgot to add the 7. Yeah.
Oh. Uh-oh. We're good.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Big uh-oh.
Okay, but you can dash, so go ahead and roll animal handling now. And go ahead and roll it with advantage.
Okay.
Because this is not only the bond you have with your dinosaur brethren, but also trying to flee from being eaten.
Mm-hmm. I got a dirty 20.
Okay. So yes, you are successfully able to move out of reach of Bane. Yeah.
My baby.
And as you look behind, you see the wounds that Sweet Tooth has incurred. You can actually see that there is a golden tooth kind of sticking out of the flank from one of the bite attacks that Bane has been not holding back and lost a tooth that might need to be replaced. Okay, so Andri, you are rounding the pits as well at this point.
How wide is the area that we just ran on? Or is
It is probably 20 feet wide.
Okay. And is it like necessarily that narrow for all of the racers?
Not necessarily. So the
Okay.
area that you're on right now, going around the executioner's pit, that is narrow because there are buildings on one side and then the pit on the other.
Okay.
Traditionally, the streets are a little bit wider than that. You would be able to have two huge dinosaurs walking side by side
Okay.
with room in between. So yeah, maybe even 40-foot wide streets.
Okay. But specifically the area by the pit is 20 feet across?
Yes. Yeah, it is narrowed. This is a choke point, which is intentionally part of the race.
You know what? Fuck it. So I'm going to do my bonus action dash from Expeditious Retreat, and so I'll roll that animal handling check. 14 plus 1, 15 total.
Yeah, I would do it.
And then I will drop Expeditious Retreat, and I'm going to cast Fog Cloud and try to create a dinosaur pileup by the pits.
Okay. All right. That's not a save or anything. It's just a fog cloud.
It's just a fog
Okay.
cloud. That
It's
is.
just a cloud. It's just a fog cloud.
Yep, it's
All
heavily
right.
obscured.
Okay. Noted. Then yeah, I'm going to see how many dinosaurs you're able to pile up here. It will definitely be more than one, I would assume. I'm going to see if there's. Nope. Okay. All right. So almost everybody is caught up at this point. Well, everybody in the party. The
Can I
blue
take my
banners
action?
have. You certainly can. Yeah.
I would like to throw my axe at the T-Rex.
Okay. Are you throwing it at the T-Rex or are you throwing it at the rider?
Who looks more?
The T-Rex is taking damage. The rider has not. But you kind of get the idea that the rider
Well-
has fewer hit points. That's all I'm asking.
I mean, yes, but also like losing the rider didn't do us any good with the Spinosaurus, so
It's fair.
yeah. Yes. Actually, real quick before I do that, Greglar, do you look like you're mostly like that you're conscious? Like, are you slipping off Sweet Tooth?
Graglar has not taken a lot of damage. Sweet Tooth has.
Oh. Okay, I feel better and also worse about that. Does Sweet Tooth look like he's still steady on his legs? I feel so much better about that. Okay.
Sweet Tooth is not doing great at all.
Baby. Okay. I'm gonna try and distract the T-Rex though still, and I'm going to wing this hand axe at him for 16.
Okay. 16 will hit.
And will an 18 will hit. So
It will.
that's 4, 6, 11 points of damage.
Okay. T-Rex.
Okay, that's my turn. For reals.
Okay. So as you all are just rounding the pits towards the far end and coming back around, you can see the fog cloud is having its effect. You can see at least one of the clawfoots goes falling into the pit and is summarily pounced upon by the Spinosaurus as well as its rider. That has knocked out both clawfoots. The Fastiaths are both out. The Hadrosaurus is out. Let's see, Allosaurus is still keeping up. You can see the Allosaurus is actually. I will see if the Allosaurus is. I'm pretty sure she has true sight, but yes, the Allosaurus is able to navigate its way through the fog. The Spinosaurus is out. Stego and Triceratops are still both in, and the T-Rex has fallen behind, but is still behind you. The rider is still coming in close behind you. And with that, let's see if there's anyone else who needs to do anything. Oh, that's right. So the Brontosaurus still moving slower, but again, just trying to pick off everyone that's in front of it. You are on opposite sides of this pit, and you can see all the archers turn their bows towards you, and they're going to fire a volley at you. You can also see there's only 3 archers now. You kind of get the idea that one of them got picked off. Nope. One of those wasn't even a D20. Okay. They are firing directly at you, the riders. So Moira, that is a 22. Let's see, Gragnar, that is a 22. And Andri, that is a 12. No, 14. Sorry, 14. Still good. Okay. All right. So it is 12 points of damage, piercing damage, as arrows are fired at Moira and Graglar. All right. So you are rounding the pits now. Like I said, you have quite a lead. A number of the racers have been taken out. You're traveling now back down south through the city. You wrap back around just the same way that you came through that archway, and you are now traveling through the Red Bazaar. You are actually going through a marketplace area, an indoor marketplace. Lined on all sides, you can see that there are a number of stalls, once again, kind of protected by these magical barriers, but you have merchants who are selling fruits. Everybody just seems to be like going about their business, trying to keep out of the way of the main walkway, but nobody really even seems to be paying much attention. Like, commerce is the big focus here. You can see that there's slabs of dinosaur meat and fish and kind of every other type of silk and perfume and everything else to be traded at a large marketplace by this. But once again, this is another choke point. So you are moving through pretty successfully. The T-Rex is still a decent bit behind you. They're going to try to dash on their next turn, but otherwise you've got a pretty clear runway. What would you all like to do for your turn?
Okay, I'm ready this time.
You can do any more trickery, or you can dash.
Since it's another choke point, I'm going to take this opportunity to not dash. I'm going to, hey Teddy. Hey, I need more of the stuff. I'm going to take some more of those thorns and toss them back behind Sweet Tooth, and cause another spike growth.
In the middle of a marketplace?
It's only 20 feet.
Yeah, okay. All right. Spiky, thornish, growth piles up in the middle of a main thoroughfare, in the middle of the largest marketplace in the city, and you just start hearing like boos.
Look, like at the beginning of the marketplace. And it's not really hurting anything. It's only 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like right where it starts to like choke up.
I'm sorry, this is the Grand Souk. I was wrong. The Red Bazaar is somewhere else. This is the Grand Souk. Sorry, I don't know my Forgotten Realms by heart. Okay, so you have created another choke point, which is going to take out... Actually, I think it's going to take out anybody.
I mean, it stays up for a while.
Actually, we'll go ahead and roll damage on it.
I remember what it does. 2d4. Okay, that was 2 and a 1. So that's 3.
So 3 times 4, so 12 points of damage?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Bane is looking pretty rough at this point. Let's see. The Triceratops is still hanging in there decently well and is gaining ground. The Stego is still hanging in there, lagging behind the Triceratops. And the Brontosaurus, you can actually kind of see behind that the Brontosaurus is having a tough time fitting into the Grand Souk because it is an incredibly large, long-necked dinosaur. And you kind of get the idea they didn't really plan this far ahead. So there is a tent kind of topped to the Grand Souk. You can see that the Brontosaurus is trying to kind of tear its way through the tent roof. All right. So at this point, you have traveled through the Grand Souk. You are heading down south through the city, right through the main thoroughfare of many major parts of of Port Nyanzaru. You're crossing through Market Ward at this point, and you are in the last leg of the trip. You're coming right around the southern point and wrapping up to the almost the public bathhouse is where you're getting to, which is one of the that and the dye works. You're right near the dye works, which is this important part of the city that you can always tell the people that work there because their arms are just like dyed a certain color, and the cliffside right outside is just always dyed a certain color at various times of the day. So you're passing right there just as people are kind of getting out of their shift for the day. And it is at this point that the Triceratops and the Stegosaurus are going to attempt to dash up and try to catch up with y'all.
Andrew and I get to go before they do?
Yeah. Yeah, we've been kind of just like playing loose with this, but yes, absolutely. If you got stuff you want to do, go for it.
I want to heal my boy real quick.
Yeah.
He's at 10 hit points, and I cannot have him dying on my hands.
Okay.
And we're getting to the last leg of the race.
It is pretty much the last leg of the race. You can see there is a hill where the gladiator arena is sitting. All you have to do is wrap around this major point, wrap around the public bathhouse, and then you're pretty much there.
All right. Then in that case, I would like to cast haste on my dinosaur.
Okay.
And I would like to do that. Okay.
No, I was just saying, I love that you prepared for a race with like literally every spell at the end.
So let me actually check because that does so much stuff. Okay, speed doubled, extra action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll cast this at the beginning of my turn. I'll move my doubled speed. Then I would like to use my action to dash and my extra action to dash.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to just go.
For every dash, go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
Okay, that's 2. All right, 20.
Okay.
And 14 plus 1, 15.
All successful. So you are going to be moving, God, how much? So a base of 70, so 140, 2 dashes?
Yes, 2 dashes at a regular movement.
Okay. So 140 plus, so 190 feet. Just like a blur that you maybe see, like the blur of a cat ascot rushes past you. A 10-foot pole, perhaps. But Andrew, yeah, you successfully even surpass Dr. Moira.
Oh, can I just keep pace with Moira?
Certainly can, yes.
It's not my intention to beat my teammates. I just want to get the hell out of the firing line.
Fair, okay. All right, so with that, we're now to the final leg. So like I said, the Triceratops and the Stegosaurus are going to try to catch up at this point. So both of these individuals are armed with heavy crossbows, and for the first time, they are finally passing by even the T-Rex, which the T-Rex is teammates with the Stego. So they're going to let them go by and kind of seeing there's a camaraderie which is kind of built against all of you. So there's going to be a volley of heavy crossbow bolts and then a charge from the Triceratops. And that is coming towards Bell at this point. Okay, so let's see. Graglar, you are going to take 12 points of piercing damage from crossbow bolts. And then Bell is going to... What is that? Okay, that's a nat 20 against Bell for a charge attack, so that is going to be 3d8. That's 14, 16 plus 6, so 22, 44 points of piercing damage as a Triceratops comes charging and barreling up behind Belle and tries to actually lift the back legs off of her with its horns. Okay.
Oh, wait, I can use my reaction, right? Because that was a melee
can.
attack?
It was.
Wow, you thought I'd forget, and I absolutely did. Okay, I'm a smash. Phrasing, sorry.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna smash that dino.
I'm gonna use my advantage on that. Oh god.
Okay. I think you also have a crit as well.
You know what?
Thank you, Alex.
Yes. Yes, I'm a critic because why not? Which means, oh god. What are we doing? Full damage plus roll or double damage?
It's your preference. I typically do whatever I roll doubled.
All right. So we've got
Perfect time to get one.
7, 15.
Okay. Towards the Triceratops. Okay, perfect. This is with your hand axes?
Yes.
Okay. So the Triceratops is very brightly colored, like I said. The Triceratops is one of the crown breakers, and you can see that there is a white dragonborn kind of dressed in almost like pirate's regalia who is riding it, and he kind of gives you this very wry smile as your hand axes hit. But when one of them actually does lop off one of the horns, you can see that wry smile turns to kind of a deep glare. Yeah, okay. So with that, we are getting towards the final leg of the path here. Okay, so you have wrapped around, you're cutting past the bathhouses, you're making a very sharp left, and this is the point where everybody kind of hits. It is a 90-degree turn that is tough for a lot of dinosaurs to manage, especially the bipedal ones. I need everybody to roll animal handling checks with disadvantage.
I would like to use my other crit, please.
Okay,
Can we use our crits?
you can.
Crit, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
Okay.
I don't make attack rolls.
Okay. Yeah, this was animal handling, right? Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah. Just want to make sure I said that is what I meant. So all of you were able to successfully navigate this 90-degree turn. Some of you even skidding in the dirt street, which, like I said, it rains somewhat frequently here, so it is kind of muddy, but you're able to grasp purchase, and your dinosaurs are able to maneuver that turn and move into this, once again, a narrow choke point between these very narrow market stalls. You're getting right up to this area where there is a massive temple on one end, and then the gladiatorial arenas on the other. So you are cutting up, you're actually going to go up a stairwell. You can see as you're rising up the hill, the head of the Brontosaurus very far behind you. The T-Rex is lagging. The Triceratops is still somewhat behind you. But as you take that turn, let's see if the Triceratops is able to maintain. Okay. All right. The Stegosaurus and the Triceratops both fall flat into the mud. The Stegosaurus actually piling into the Triceratops behind it. The Brontosaurus is still so far behind that it's not catching it. It's not even close to the 90-degree turn at this point. The T-Rex does navigate, but it is a decent ways behind you as well. And you can see that the gladiatorial pits are, the arena rather, is right within sight. This will be your last turn before the finish line. Nobody's catching up. What would you like to do?
I would like to dash, please.
Okay. Animal handling checks then.
For the chaos value. Oh, go ahead, Eva.
I want to use my
What'd you
other
get, Eva?
advantage.
Do you know?
That's like second natural one on these.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay. That's a 12. That's fine. That's better.
Just a 12?
Yeah, as opposed to a 1 or a 6
Okay.
total, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the 12, thanks.
Fine. Still doesn't succeed.
That's fine. It could have been worse.
Graglar, what was your roll?
Me?
Are you dashing as well? Or are you maintaining normal speed?
Let me think about that for a second. Andrew had something to do.
Yeah, am I within 90 feet of any dinosaur with a single rider on it?
Sure. Probably the Triceratops, the Stegosaurus kind of piled up. The T-Rex would probably be within 90 feet too.
Okay, then what I would like to do is I would like to pull a net out of my bag, and I would like to throw it and cast Catapult and launch it 90 feet at the T-Rex rider.
Nice.
Okay.
And that's a dex save.
It's a dex save. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's riding the T-Rex? That's the veteran. What is the veteran? They rolled an 11. So let's see what their dex save.
DC 15.
That's only a +1. Yeah, they only rolled a 12.
Yeah, we're just gonna just like body this person off the dinosaur.
You have taken the riders off of both carnivores, both major like apex predators. You have released them loose into the city.
And I'll use my hasted action to go ahead and just dash ahead.
Okay. Okay. So, Andrew, you will be the first to cross the finish line then, because as you look back, Dr. Moira, you kind of lose control of Belle there towards like as you're going up the steps. Belle is just kind of like, no, I don't. I'm a turtle. I don't do steps. And your movement speed does drop to 0 for that turn. Which for herbivores, it's dropped to 0. For carnivores, it's try to eat you. So, you know. Yeah. Okay, so Andrea, you are going to be the first. You do see the finish line. There is an archway. You see people just lining with streamers. You actually can see that there are blue banners hanging thoroughly, that they have anticipated that as you all have led this race, that you will be the victors. Anything you'd like to do before you claim victory?
No, just run on through at an unnatural speed, screaming like a banshee.
Okay. All right. You do so.
Great.
Andrea, you cross the finish line. There's a roar, an eruption of just celebration and joy. There's confetti and streamers and everything else. And then kind of under that crowd roar is another kind of roar. And Andrew, you'd be the first one to see this. Dr. Moira, as you're kind of catching up Graglar, you would see this next. There's some movement behind the heavy gates of the gladiatorial arena. And as the gates begin to push outwards, you can see that something is trying to fight its way through. And as the gates burst open, a massive albino T-Rex comes pushing its way through into the crowd, a crowd that is not defended by a magical barrier. Andrew, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Okay, that's good. I think it's 25. It's 18 plus.
That would definitely do it. Andrew, this is not a normal T-Rex. It's not even albino. This is dead. It's undead. This is a T-Rex zombie.
Because of fucking course it is.
This is where I'm going to have you all roll for real initiative. Your dinosaurs get to go on your turns.
What do you mean real initiative? I've used most of my spell slots already.
So 15 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Me as well.
And 16 for me.
Okay. So it will be Andri. I think Dr. Moira has the higher dexterity. Yeah. And then Graglar, and then Zombie T-Rex. And like I said, your dinosaurs do get to go on your turns. Andri, what would you like to do?
I'm... Okay, how tall is the nearest rooftop? In relation to the dinosaur.
Okay, so a zombie T-Rex is huge, which essentially means it's about 25 feet tall. The nearest rooftop could be the gladiatorial arena, which is going to be closer to like 50, maybe even 60 feet tall. There are other smaller buildings around it. I mean, it's a city street, so there's a number of buildings that range from like anywhere between 20 to 50 feet.
All right, then I won't be able to get to do this. So what I would like to do is I would like to run generally in the direction of like a tall rooftop that I can see. And I would like to hold the enlarge spell until the end of initiative. Narratively,
Noted.
what I'm trying to do is cast 2 spells very fast to each other. And like mechanically how I'm trying to do that is concentrate on one to the end of the initiative, then let it go and cast on my next turn.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm...
Gotcha. Dr. Moira.
I don't like this. I don't want to be here anymore. Thinking very hard, she's going to just look at this undead beast and say, you, effectively casting Hunter's Mark. How far away is it? It's still like across the...
It could be about 50 feet from you. Yep.
Oh, that means I could reach it, huh?
Means it could reach you.
I'm gonna slap my hand on Belle's side and say I'm sorry. It's gonna get a little weird, and cast Jump. Are there any like very sturdy looking buildings or like walls, like ramparts or
Sturdy enough to hold a jumping ankylosaurus? Sure.
Yeah. Then I would like...
Who am I to say no to this?
Then I would like to nudge her up, and with combination of jump and movement speed, I don't know what her strength score is. Strength? Constitution. Strength. But I would like just for her to get up there. Like, I don't need it to be fancy. I just...
Okay.
She's hurt
Belle
bad.
does have a strength of 19. It's +4 strength.
Oh, my girl! Yeah,
She's a tough girl.
she is. Alright. Did I actually cast... I didn't actually cast that. I'm gonna cast that now. Sorry. Then I believe that's my turn between all, like, movement and stuff.
So you have leapt your dinosaur onto a nearby building?
Yeah.
And cast Hunter's Mark.
And
Okay.
jump, but yeah. Essentially.
That's what you leapt your dinosaur onto a nearby building. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Alex, I should have asked, did you want Maya to do anything?
Just run to a nearby building that's tall and preferably out of range of the T-Rex.
Noted. Okay. With that, Graglar, it is your turn. As the Carnotaurus rounds the bend, with you on top, you can see somebody has corrupted one of your brethren. This is not the way that dinosaurs should should exist.
I'm gonna. So how this is in like an arena area?
Yeah, so it's kind of like outside of the arena itself. So it's kind of a semicircle, like a horseshoe, and there's people all around that are fleeing from this thing, and this thing is roaring. You can actually see. Raglar, go ahead and roll me perception. I'll give you this one for free.
That's a 22.
Okay. You can see that this thing is injured already, that what you kind of reason is that it burst out of the arena. This was part of the games for today, as some idiot decided to bring in a T-Rex zombie to fight. So it does have like spears and wounds and everything else, but there's something else about it. As it opens its mouth to roar, it's more the sound of like numerous screams, as you can see that there are bodies inside, zombified bodies that are reaching out of this thing's gullet. And as it goes to roar, these things are almost clawing their way out of this thing's stomach.
Okay, how big is the area?
It's pretty
until
big. I mean,
people start. Okay, then I want to cast.
I mean, people are fleeing from this thing. It has a wide berth around it.
Got it. I'm gonna cast plant growth around it to try and like restrain it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to hurt it yet.
Okay. What is the save for plant growth?
I don't think there is a save. It's just like all normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown, and a creature moving through the area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot.
Difficult terrain. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So difficult terrain surrounds this T-Rex, slowing its movement, essentially hindering it as it kind of turns and roars. It has noticed all the dinosaurs around it. Did you want Sweet Tooth to do anything?
I guess we'll stop where we are.
Okay. With that, it is T-Rex Zombie's turn. This thing is going to use... actually, I'm sorry, that's a bonus action. So it is going to bonus action Disgorge Zombie. And one of the zombies is going to claw its way out of this thing's mouth and kind of very wetly plop to the ground and rise up and start just going for the nearest, civilian that it can get to. Let's see. So this is... I have to do... Disgorge Zombie acts on its own initiative. Okay, zombie is disgorged. Roll a d6. Okay, so it will not be able to disgorge another zombie on its next turn. And the zombie will go right after Zombie T-Rex next turn. Okay. Otherwise, the T-Rex is going to use its movement to try to get out of the space. It does have 40 feet of movement, so it's not going to be able to reach anybody, but you can see that it is coming for you, Graglar. Mm-hmm. And with that, it's back to top of the order with Andrew. So, Andrew, you got a couple of things prepared.
Yes. So at the end of initiative, what I would like to do is I would like to reach into my component pouch and toss up like a small cloud of like iron shavings or iron filings, cast enlarge on myself. And now that I'm a medium creature, the same size as Maya, I would like to cast Thunderstep, because now we're both the same size category and I'm not smaller than her anymore. And I would like to Thunderstep on top of a building to get Maya safe.
Okay. You are successfully able to... You're going to a different building than the one Dr. Moira just jumped her Ankylosaurus into. Okay.
Different.
Yeah, because the foundations of that building aren't looking like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like I jumped an elephant on top of this house.
Yeah. And after, because I had to cast enlarge, so that drops haste. After...
It does.
Yeah, so Maya will be stunned. I will just dismount her. And then I already have this in my pack, but like narratively for flavor, I will reach up and conjure a light crossbow, which I will prepare to use next round.
Okay. All right. Dr. Moira, you were on the rooftop with your Ankylosaurus. You watch as Andrea, same brain cell, on the rooftop adjacent to you, thunder steps their Pachycephalosaurus right up there. What would you like to do?
Heck yeah, keep that dino safe. I would like to, the, T-Rexes, or the, I'm just gonna call it the abomination, is, within
Zombie
60
T-Rex.
feet.
Zombie Rex, yeah. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely within 60 feet.
I'm a chuck some hand axes at it.
Okay. It is looking pretty rough as is, but yeah, go for it.
If you expect me to make me feel bad for it, that ship has
Oh, no, not at all. This is a zombie T-Rex. Please don't feel bad for it.
Okay, that one's not gonna make it. Oh, that one is 24
Yeah, that'll do it.
for.
This one only has an AC of 11.
Okay, the other one was like 7, so 8.
8. Okay.
And I don't think. I don't think I can chuck anything as 2-weapon fighting, so yeah. So I'm good. Oh,
Okay.
wait, Hunter Smart is.
Mm-hmm.
God, I haven't used this in so long. Is 4.
Okay. All right. Anything else for your turn? Okay. Graglar. You can see that this T-Rex has moved past the plant growth. It is taking a couple of hand axes to it from Dr. Moira. But you can see that both of your compatriots have moved their dinosaurs to rooftops. Not a lot of thought of how to get them back down, but we'll deal with that later. what were cranes built for? But you and Sweet Tooth are still ground level, and this thing has kind of singled you out as the zombie that it has vomited up is kind of idling towards just like the townsfolk who are fleeing.
All right. I think for my movement, I'm just gonna try and get away from it, and then I'm gonna cast Moonbeam on it, which is a con save.
Yeah. Okay, and that does extra damage to undead, if I remember right.
Cool. It's
Or is it
radiant
shapeshifters?
damage. Oh, shapeshifters. So that's 20. Oh.
No, go ahead.
Wait,
It failed.
Oh, okay. That's 24 radiant damage.
Okay. All right, and this beam just singles down on this specific spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. What's the area on the beam?
That is 5 feet.
5 feet. Okay, so yeah, you're just getting the T-Rex then. All right. Let's see. Anything else for your turn?
Just try to get as far away as I can.
Okay. Are you Sweet Tooth fleeing then?
What's fleeing beside?
You said you're trying to get as far away as you can. So are you moving away from the combat area? Is what I'm asking.
I guess not away, but just moving, backing up a little maybe.
That's fine. Perfectly fine. Okay. Did you want Sweet Tooth to do anything?
No, I don't want to get close to it.
Okay. All right. It is going to be Zombie's turn. The zombie is just gonna make a. I guess it's going to redirect when it hears the dinosaur roar. It's going to start moving towards you and Sweet Tooth. It only has a speed of 20 feet, so it's not doing anything. Zombie T-Rex, however, is going to go charging up, and it is going to try to take a tail attack towards Sweet Tooth and a bite attack towards Graglar. So the tail attack is a 17. I don't think that's going to hit. That does hit?
Yeah.
I thought you had a higher. It does. I apologize. Yeah, you only have a 15. That's right. Okay. So tail attack of 3d8. And then it's a 14 to hit Graglar.
That doesn't hit.
So tail attack of, what's that, 9? 20 points of bludgeoning damage towards Sweet Tooth.
Cool.
Okay. That is it for its turn. It has the multi-attack. And with that, we're back to top of the order with Andrew. Andrew, you have made it to the rooftop. You have readied your crossbow. You can see this thing is targeting your teammate.
Yep, muted. How far is the zombie? Is that like in the same
So the
area?
zombie is trailing behind at this point. I mean, it only can move 20 feet. The T-Rex can move 40. This thing nearly stepped on its own zombie, just like trying to get to Sweet Tooth and Graglar.
Let me see. Are they within 60 feet?
Yeah, they would be.
Okay. Then let me see. I would like to reach into my bag and pull out like a small purple sack and tie it to the end of a crossbow bolt and fire it into the area somewhere between the zombie and the zombie T-Rex. And that is a cast of web.
Okay.
And that's
All
Dex. Dex saves, and then on their turn they can make strength saves, or it's my DC.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. Dex of 15 for the T-Rex and a nat 20 for the zombie.
Oh,
Okay.
they both beat it, bitch.
Okay.
Oh well.
But it's still webbed in the. Isn't that difficult terrain?
Difficult terrain and lightly obscured area.
Gotcha. Okay. So a massive web just encompasses the area to make this just a full fucking Halloween show. Dr. Moira, it is your turn. I will say the T-Rex is looking pretty rough at this point.
Pretty sure you said that last time.
And then you did some damage to it. Now it's looking even more rough. Like I said, it had already been engaged in gladiatorial combat. There are like spears and things sticking out of this thing, and now a couple of hand axes in its head too.
Okay, well, good news. I've got more axes. I'm gonna
Thank
pet
goodness.
Teddy for luck, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I'm gonna one after the other chuck 2 more hand axes. The first one is 13. The second is 23.
Okay. 13, 23, both hit.
So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the first one. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 total.
And Hunter's Mark?
Yes. Is absolutely a thing, I remember. That's for both, right? Or is it just the one? Is it once per attack?
It's for your attacks.
Cool.
It's fine. Add it to both. It's
That's
fine.
6 and 1, so.
So 21 points of damage total.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'll pat Belle
All right,
reassuringly.
Okay. Lobbing hand axes into this thing, it is thoroughly taking damage. You're actually like knocking off like chunks of flesh or sloughing off of this thing, exposing like a rib, and you can actually see from within that there are other zombies inside of this thing, like trying to claw their way from the rib cage, like prison bars. With that, Graglar, it is your turn. This thing is in melee with you and Sweet Tooth. What would you like to do?
How's it looking?
Real rough.
Remember us if we die. I think I'm just gonna move the moonbeam to catch up with it again.
Okay. So what kind of save is that again? Sorry.
That's a con save again for 15. And I'm staring it down, and I look at Sweet Tooth, and then I look back up at the zombie T-Rex, and I say, "The Rocket Boys don't back down."
It does succeed on the moonbeam, so does it take half damage?
Yeah, it takes half damage.
Okay, what is half damage?
Ah, booty roll. That's a 6. 6 is
Six.
half.
Okay.
I rolled a 12.
Okay. And then what is does Sweet Tooth want to take an attack too?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll Sweet Tooth attack.
What is Sweet Tooth's? Okay. That's a 18 to hit.
That would do it.
All
2d10
right.
plus 4.
2d10. That is an 11 plus 4, 15.
How does Sweet Tooth want to finish this T-Rex zombie?
We made eye contact, Sweet Tooth and Graglar. And when we said Rocket Boys don't back down, and we both at the same time fire our attacks, and as Graglar brings the moonbeam back towards the dinosaur, Sweet Tooth is just gonna chomp at whatever he can get of the zombie T-Rex. We just go at it as brothers do.
The moonbeam burns away what is left of the T-Rex behind as Sweet Tooth tears into the front, ripping out throat and arm and chest and everything else, tearing this zombie dinosaur piece from piece. The zombies that are left inside are just casualties of Tooth and Moonbeam alike. And in moments, Andre and Dr. Moira, you both watch as the brothers, the Rocket Boys, successfully disassemble this zombie T-Rex. And as you do, Graglar, you hear a slow clap from behind. And as you turn around, all of your fellow racers, the ones that survived, are all standing there just applauding, all standing next to their dinosaurs. Just, you kind of get the idea that they were going to probably not step in on this one. You guys had this just fine. But you see that the riders of the Stegosaurus and the T-Rex rider did survive. Their T-Rex not with them, but like the Triceratops rider, all the other riders are standing there just applauding. And the 7 merchant princes come down, and you are granted the 30,000 gold, and blue banners are saved, and you are offered roles with the team. And Warren is ever so grateful, and you are heroes of the city and everything else, and your names are forever written in the halls of heroes of Chult. Congratulations. All right, everybody. That's all I got for this super chaotic one shot. Anything else you all wanted to do before we wrap this up?
I like to imagine that Andre probably moves on from here. She doesn't stick around for one place very long, but before she does, she makes a point to go see Graglar. Hey, what's a rocket?
It is the rock that we grew up around. You know, some clans have a big tree. We have a rock. We are the Rocket Boys.
Okay.
Such a good answer. Graglar, about a week goes by after the race when early in the morning, Sweet Tooth is brought to you on reins by Warren, keeping their end of the deal, and Sweet Tooth is released back to you in the wild.
We still come by sometimes for fun.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Moira, you're offered a role with the team should you want to stick around. Teddy's a bit too small to race, but the other dinosaurs seem to like him just fine.
He still participates as a rider, I will have you know.
He certainly does.
I
I kind of want like Teddy and Andrew's cat to have like little goggles. Like when it's the cat ascot, there's just little, like, it's still like a dirty cat face, but just like the goggles can just lift up and it's just white circles underneath.
She'll probably stick around for like a season, like get the lay of like the land and how you know, the inside look at the racing culture and what Port Nyanzaru has to offer, and then she'll probably move on eventually once the team has like been built back up. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you to all of the viewers for tuning in and for, because this is the TV that you have to tune, and for donating to St. Jude. We hit all of the milestones throughout this month. You still can donate. Has the giveaway still going on? Yes. In progress, but there is still time to give. There
closing
still
it in,
are
like,
incentives.
30 seconds. So
30
exclamation
seconds. You
point,
got 30
dino in
seconds to
chat.
hit exclamation point dino in chat. There are still incentives throughout the end of this month for the couple of days that are left. So for $5, you can get your name on the thank you wall behind the very lovely Eva. For $15, you get a thank you postcard. For $50, you can contribute an NPC or magic item to an upcoming D&D game. That includes Horizon's Call, any of the one-shots that we do, or any of the future campaigns that we have planned here, which there are many. For $100, you get a terrible animal drawing, which actually isn't that terrible. For $500, the Incredible Eva will DM a TTRPG one-shot just for you. So we've hit the milestones, but there still are incentives. And the main incentive is that it goes to a great cause, that your money is benefiting kids in an organization that really needs it. So if you can see it in your heart, you can see it in your wallet to donate. We absolutely appreciate it. And I speak for both the Adversariats channel as well as Team SideQuest when I say that you all have been incredibly generous throughout this month, and we very, very much appreciate it. So all of that said, I am going to let these people sign off, tell you about their lovely selves and where you can find more of them. So Alex, if you wouldn't mind starting us off.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex. You can find me on Twitter at AxolotlCure. Currently don't have anything really going on, so yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, I guess, where I talk about RPGs and dinosaurs, evidently. And I think my favorite part of the session was A, hearing Rocket Boys first time around, which is not what I expected that family name to be. And then B, getting the explanation as to where Rocket Boys came from. Just solid.
Definite high point. Thank you, Alex. Elisa.
You can find me on Twitter at Elisa. That's EYY Elisa. I also don't really have much going on right now, but I am working on some music and just crafts and stuff that you can tag along for. My favorite part was getting to participate in a concept of the Tyrannosaur race. Thank you, Derek, for just your beautiful mind. And just getting the opportunity to be a lizard who's stepbrothers with a dinosaur is my favorite thing I've ever done. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa. Yes, I am Russell Crowe. I do have a beautiful mind. No, Elisa knows better than most that I will yes and any kind of bullshit. And if you come to me and go, yeah, I want to be a lizard folk who thinks that their brother is a dinosaur, I'm just going to go, yeah, okay. There's going to be a few ellipses and commas in there, but yeah, okay. Come on. I will say this because these two incredible people, Alex and Elisa, kind of joined this game very last minute. This was kind of thrown together as a weird idea that I had in the back of my mind, but for them to join to create these amazing characters and to have the buy-in, I trust these people implicitly. They're fantastic role players, fantastic gamers at all kinds of TTRPGs and everything else, fantastic people. So if you were ever looking for anyone for a project, I could not recommend more Alex and Elisa. And if you don't, I will steal them for all of my future projects. So get on it. Eva, if you don't mind, I'm going to go first since this is your channel, and thank you very much. So hi, everybody. I've been your DM for this Saturday, as well as many, many others for Horizon's Call, but this was a particularly chaotic one. But my name is Derek Sword. If you want to find more of me, the best place is Twitter at dsword16. I am over on Graham Cracker's channel every other Tuesday, as well as every Friday. Tuesdays is Shards of Anarion, where I play a Gnoll Ranger named Furban. Fridays, I play a Bugbear Druid Rogue named Griaz Bramblepelt. And if you can't tell, I love monsters. Best way to tell is that I'm the co-host of the podcast Monster Crush. So if you enjoy monsters, love monsters, think that learning about them is fun and also maybe smooching them is a good time, check out Monster Crush wherever podcasts are found. My co-host Heavenly and I talk about different cryptids and creatures and like their history, their story, and then also like how good they are at kissing. You know, we ask the important questions. So definitely check that out. We just hit our episode 50, which is posted, and yeah, I've been really blessed to be part of that. And like I said, I'm here most Saturdays for Horizon's Call here on the Viseriads channel. It is an oceanic campaign set in the homebrew world of Damaris. They're on a boat. They're causing problems. It's good stuff. We just found out that one of the main characters had a romantic relationship with the mentor of another main character who she then murdered. The twists. Yeah, it's complicated, but it makes sense. So thank you all again for joining us. Thank you again for everything you gave through this month. It means a lot to everybody here. And with that, I will pass it off to the incredible Eva Serrate, without whom none of us would be here.
Hi, I'm Eva. This is indeed my channel. Today has been a joy. Even when we take time off of the campaigns, it's just so nice to be able to be here having fun with friends and playing with some dinosaurs. And especially raising money for good causes. And I know we sort of do charity campaigns somewhat erratically. Maybe a little more structured now that we're part of SideQuest. But this has just been an incredible month, and thank everyone for your support. And it's true, every dollar helps, but it's also your support just hanging out in chat and hyping us up, and retweets and shares, and all that is just as incredible. And we couldn't have gotten here without you, and it means a lot. We did unlock the Dami Mommy cosplay stream, which will probably be either next week or the week after. It will be my single fundraising stream for June, which will be part of raising funds for the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund. And we'll probably just be playing some video games. I don't know. And also cosplay. We'll see. I'm going to close the giveaway now because you thought I was going to forget, and you'd have been right. And cool. Oh, pick winner. Oh, Alex. I will DM you that. Congratulations on winning
Alex.
Call of the Sea. I hope you enjoy it. I feel like maybe there was something else.
You should check your phone. It might be calling right now.
Yep. Got me. You got me. I hope you're happy.
Yeah.
Yep. Gonna be mad about that. It's fine. Speaking of Dami Mommy, let's go see what that's all about. We're gonna do a little bit of a raid. Bring your love and joy over to I copy pasted so I didn't have to type it out. Say hi, send love. We are gonna call
Spread
it
that otter love.
Yeah. Do I actually have a raid message? I kind of do. Doesn't really work. Don't know why that didn't pop. It's fine. Worry about it later. It's been a long day. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and we will see you next time.